Do you need to move that so you can see the tape? Or no?
Oh shit! I left my headset.
Figure out. Just,
Yeah,
hold
you got
on, I got it here.
Trying to squeeze in all my trinkets. And Jeff Salters at 4.
Text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good afternoon to you, wherever you may be, however you may be listening. This is the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. We're streaming live at KERNradio.com. We got a busy Tuesday broadcast. It is a Tuesday, so at the bottom of the hour, our former federal magistrate judge, Teresa Goldner, will join us. Donald Trump announced that the Space Commander headquarters will be in Huntsville, Alabama, but that wasn't the thesis. He, as he is wont to do, got into question and answer period with the press, and he told J.B. Pritzker, he told the mayor of Chicago, he told the state of Illinois, we're going in. I quote him directly, we're going in. The National Guard will be in Chicago, so says the president. We'll unpack that just a second. Our good friend Jeff Salters is going to join us at 4 o'clock. I think my phone is going off, and when it goes off this close to showtime, it's normally show related. Let's take a look, and it is not. My cleaning is ready at Today Cleaners, which is the lead story of the day, actually. I'll get to that in just a second. Powerball is worth $1.3 billion. You get a cool $650 million. And a lot of sports going on over the weekend. Coco Gauff got blown off the tennis court by Naomi Osaka. I was shocked. Are you kidding me? Well, I don't know if Coco's had any mental health issues. Yeah, I mean, I think every athlete goes through confidence issues. I think there's a difference between what Naomi was going through. She was going through depression, and she hated tennis, and she hadn't won since 21. She's a 4-time major championship winner, you forget. And she had a baby, and I think that I am burning up. I am literally sweating because I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt, which is a whole. I know the breeze was outstanding. It was cooler outside than it was in my apartment. But yeah, she was dealing with all kinds of things, and she had a baby, and then she got into good shape, and she did get some mental health help. She openly talked about it, and she's going to be hard to beat. This whole week is going to be fun. Tonight, it's Djokovic versus Taylor Fritz, the American. That's going to be great because I still think Djokovic is one of the best 3 players in the world. His only problem is he can't beat the other 2. He just can't. I'm sorry. I don't know much, but there's no way he beats Sinner and Carlos. That's not going to happen. Maybe he knocks off Carlos. Maybe he knocks off Sinner, who I think is going to win the U.S. Open. And I lost a bet to Chris in the last major. I don't bet against Alcaraz. Do you see that behind-the-back volley he did over the weekend? I mean, the kid is crazy. But Sinner, and he's had an easier draw, but he hasn't lost a set in the tournament. He looks stupid. He's making shots like, how did he do that? Like he's losing the point, and you're thinking he's going to chip it back, just to keep the point alive. And he rips it pass the guy down the line. It's good. And it's like, how does he turn a defensive play into a winner? We'll get into that. And Vanessa Williams. Yes, the former beauty queen is advancing in the doubles. No, Vanessa Williams is advancing. She's one of the big stories of the U.S. Open. We'll get into that. What did I say? Did I say it again? Well, I got Vanessa Williams on my mind. Which, of course, lurches us into a classic Bailey story. Naturally. I'm at the Love's Barbecue on the corner of Centinela and La Tijera, right on the border of Inglewood and Ladera, where I both lived and were raised. And I'm leaving, and there's a woman there's a little narrow hallway as you leave the Loves. And there are two things that you've probably never used in your life in that hallway, payphones. And as I'm walking through the payphone, through the hallway, I see this Black woman on the phone. And it suddenly dawns on me, that's Venus Williams. That's Vanessa Williams. I think it was raining because she had like a scarf over her head, but that's 1980s Vanessa Williams. So I and pull out a coin and pretend I'm making a phone call. And I like call my uncle's house and I'm like, oh, Irvin, please don't be home. Please don't be home. And the answer machine picks up. It's me because I'm living with my uncle. It's my own answer machine. And I pretend to have a 3-minute conversation on my answering machine because back in those days, you go as long as you want. And I'm just staring at her. And finally, she looks over and she's like totally creeped out because I'm just like, yeah, and I'm talking and I'm just looking at her and I'm like half smiling, half giggling. And she finally goes, Mary, I'm going to have to call you when I get home. I'll talk to you later. Bye. And she hangs up and scoots out of there. And I'm like, damn, I didn't get to say. I was hoping we'd like hang up together and I'd say, Miss Williams, my name's Ralph Bailey. I'm a reporter for the LA Times. And I never got my opportunity. That's my Vanessa Williams story. But and we'll get into the fact that Chanel Jones, an African-American reporter for the Today Show, is returning on Friday. She's a 45-year-old woman who, I get up, I can't watch Gale, so that cuts out CBS. I can't watch Strahan, so that cuts out ABC. So I watched the Today Show. I grew up with Savannah. I didn't grow up with her, but I was a young reporter when she was the White House correspondent. And Craig Melvin is a South Carolina boy and his brother. So I watched the Today Show. And Chanel Jones is one of the better reporters on there. She does the 9 o'clock show as well. She's been gone since December. Her husband, a 45 years old, died of brain cancer. He came down with glioblastoma. And it's just it's weird that of all the staff members, they made Chanel's family part of the Today Show. I know her 3 kids from the Today Show. I know her husband from the Today Show. And all the 3 kids looked just like the dad. They had a 16-year-old. She has a 16-year-old and a pair of 13-year-old twins that are of different gender, boy and girl. And they all look like Uche, her African husband. And he died of, the reason I bring up how he died, glioblastoma. When it's caught early, you get about 15 months. If it's caught late, like his was, you get 6 months. Can you imagine walking into a doctor's office? Yeah, Ralph, we got your test back and you have glioblastoma, brain cancer. Is it fatal? I'm afraid it is. How long do I have? Well, unfortunately, we didn't catch it early. If we'd caught it early, you'd have about 1.5 years. But we didn't catch it early. You got about 6 to 9 months. 6 to 9 months. And now this 45-year-old woman who they met is a great story as well. She was a senior in high school visiting Northwestern. He was a sophomore, and he pretended to be the college sent guide. and he showed her around the entire weekend, just being a student. And she thought he was the appointed guide, and bing, bang, bong. And now she's.
You couldn't get away with that today.
No, you could never get away with that. You could never get away with that. And the girl would file a complaint.
Oh yeah.
She claimed it was harassment. I didn't know this guy. Who this guy could have? Yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right. You could never get away with something like that today.
Really smooth when you think about it.
It is. It really is. It really,
you
really
could
is.
never get away with that.
No. And it's just, I don't know. I put it on the rundown just because it's a really sad story. Plus, we are going to talk about NBC because, boy, howdy, are they rolling out all the stops for football on Thursday. They already have a piece where Savannah dresses up like an eagle. I don't mean like an eagle costume. She puts on a football uniform. I'm serious. And she's doing like back pedals and sprints. And the idea sounds stupid. And I was first like, really? And then when you watch her and you watch her technique, I'm like, hey, that's not bad, actually. She's got her butt down, her head's up, her shoulders square. It could be a kind of cute thing. And they're going to talk to Goodell. I mean, give it to the NFL. They have figured it out. It's a television show. It's a sport, but it's a television show. But we begin with the Pratt wedding. Let's take a break, and I'll get into that when we come back. I got all kinds of things to talk about. I went with a Johnny Cash look.
All black.
All black.
Nice.
No, big mistake. I was on fire.
Oh, true.
Whoo!
I didn't realize it was an outdoor.
No, it was indoors, but the initial part was outdoors. But it was at the El Tango, which Randy is the only person that I have met that had ever been there. Nobody that I talked to at the wedding had ever been there before. But it is an incredible venue. It was a gorgeous wedding. It went flawlessly. I just have one negative comment. I just talked to Robbie, as a matter of fact. I just texted him about something. And you can probably guess what it is. It has nothing to do with Robbie and his beautiful bride, April Pratt, now. Has nothing to do with the wedding per se. I just don't understand this town, and I suppose I never will. A ball cap. A ball cap. A ball cap.
Hold on. Did he do what we talked about last week in at least somewhat decent attire?
No. There were several men that looked like they were going to a Harley Davidson rally. I mean, a Hells Angels rally. Swear to God. And yet, if you're going to criticize me for criticizing the attire, every woman at the El Tango looked like $1 million. Women get it. Middle-aged men in this town just don't get it. We were just talking about this last week. The spitting in beer bottles in restaurants, tobacco juice, and I was talking about wearing ball caps to restaurants, let alone a wedding? A wedding? A ball cap at a wedding? It's a first for me. I don't know about y'all. Shorts, jeans, work boots. Really? I had to go back and look at the invitation, which said, in bold capital letters, formal. But it was a beautiful wedding. It really was. I'll tell you a little bit about it when we come back. And then we'll get into Donald Trump telling the folks of Illinois, we's coming, baby. We's coming and we loading. I'm arming them. We're coming to Chicago. I have an obligation, said the president. We are just getting started on a Tuesday, a short week on this Labor Day, and a couple of miscellaneous news and notes. George Raveling passed away, the former USC coach, Washington State coach, whose greatest claim to fame is tied to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I'll explain that. And 80 years ago today, and I bet maybe a quarter of you are aware of this, and that's shameful, we won World War II. The Japanese surrendered aboard the University of Missouri, the USS Missouri, Douglas MacArthur presiding. Quick time out. We're coming right back. Don't go anywhere. Is he in there? Talking to her. What is she talking?
Tickets for the event are $65 and available at the She Shed at Peachy Pig, 1518
Hey, did you guys see my my array? I told you we were gonna blacken it up in here a little bit. I'll give you an advanced preview. I'm about to do it on the air, but this is my my jewel. This is Jackie Robinson stealing home base. This is a beautiful porcelain piece that I have in my home. This is the original 30th quartet. Why am I screaming? My microphone is right here. I don't need to scream at you guys. This is the original 30 home run quartet. It was never done before. It's never been done since. Where Reggie Smith, or Dusty Baker, Ron Cey, Reggie Smith, and Steve Garvey hit 30 home runs in one season. Nobody's ever done that since or before. This is my Magic Johnson bobblehead. And this is Mary Bethune-Cookman, the greatest black educator of the 20th century. And these filthy things back here are my Kern Press Club awards that I won 3 consecutive years. And then they stopped giving it out. I always say they stopped giving it out because I kept winning it. But it was really because Scott and Inga wouldn't participate. I'll explain why in just a second. They say they can barely hear you. Should I turn this up?
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made
Say
around
something, Chris.
$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not?
Hopefully they can hear me better, but red leather, yellow leather. Hopefully they can hear me. I'm not sure exactly how to. Well, I guess I can throw it up.
I said it sounds great.
Okay, cool.
Bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank.
You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me weekday morning 6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott Cox, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
842-537-6842 KERN. If you want to see my, I found out that JR decorates his own studio and normally he would leave the stuff up, but then he started taking it down. And I said, what happened to all the knickknacks? And Chris said, well, JR brings his own and then he takes them down. He wants the shows to look differently. So I brought in, I told you, I was joking. Don't anybody freak out. But I said, we're going to blacken it up in here. And so I brought in some of my stuff. So if you want to see it, I'll walk you through it. But you got to go to YouTube. For those that are already subscribing and watching during the break, I told them what they all are. And again, if you're not subscribing, you can't see it. So you got to go to YouTube. And later in the show, I'll walk you through my Kern Press Club awards that I won 3 years running. And the bobbleheads that I have that I brought in from my home. That were all gathering dust. And as Chris said, you didn't think about wiping those off, Ralph? No, I really didn't. And now that I look, I probably should have. There's
Be
cobwebs.
careful taking Jackie home too. Just
Oh yeah, the Jackie Robinson one is only staying for the day. And then I'm bringing the one that I broke in to replace it. Because this I cannot break. This I cannot break. This, don't play around. Don't play around. This I cannot break. That's Jackie. If I just had Yogi Berra right there,
That would be cool.
jumping up and down, complaining that he was out because that's the play in the World Series. That and you can see I did break it. I broke off at the bill of his cap. I don't know if you can see that. It's rough, Bailey. What do you want? That's why I got to take it home because I know I'll break it. I know I'll break it. But Robbie's wedding, gorgeous, beautiful. The El Tango was unbelievable. It was a great venue. The food was great. It was catered by Chef Lino. 300 people. Robbie did not mess around, Jack.
That's a lot of people.
And I hate to be tacky, and I hope he's not listening, but I would pay $50 just to find out what he spent on this thing. 300 people, Chris.
That's a lot.
And then we went to KC Steakhouse and we chit-chatted with Cassie, who gave us some inside dope on what it takes to cater. And I was with Mike, who's a caterer. So we all were guesstimating what Chef Lino probably charged per plate. And he didn't mess around, Jack. 300 people. He had the BC football team as his groomsmen. He had 53 groomsmen. They all walked in uniform. No, I'm kidding. He had 13 groomsmen. Mike Arier, our mutual best friend, was part of that group. It was hilarious to see him come down with his bad back looking like Quasimodo. I'm kidding, Mike. Not that he's listening at 326, but Mike has back problems, and he kind of, looks like he needs to be ringing the bells at Notre Dame.
Hanging out with gargoyles.
Looking like Charles Lawton. I'm just saying.
Oh my God.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But it was great. His son, Tristan, who I told you is a badass Navy SEAL, and that's all I can say.
13 groomsmen.
It was ridiculous.
That's a big number.
It took 45 minutes for the groomsmen and the gals to walk in.
I don't think I've seen a wedding with more
I've
than
never
4
seen
or
it.
5.
Yeah. I saw one with 7.
Really? Okay.
I
that's a
went
good
with one
I
with
guess that's
7.
fair, but-
But Robbie had 13. In fact, and Robbie and I are close. We're not that close, but there were so many. I was like, well, hell, why wasn't I a groomsman? Let's put a little color in there. But it was great. It really was. And Robbie said there was going to be all kind of single women. There were no single women there. And not only were there not single women there, Chris, every woman not only had a wedding ring, but they had rocks on their fingers. I don't know how these women hold their hands up. I mean, and I forget, I know Robbie is Robbie, Robbie Pratt, the former player of Bakersfield, who's finally getting married at 60 years of age. So I didn't think anything of it, but I forgot that Robbie is a powerful businessman in this town. Let me count up. There were 3 former city council members there. There was 1 current city council member there. There was 1 supervisor there. It was a who's who of celebrities. There was an anchor that was there as well. And she hates me and I detest her. It's a long story that I probably shouldn't get into. But it was packed. It was beautiful. April looked incredible. She had an incredible gown on. And as soon as Chris shows me how to put up more than 1 picture on Facebook and Instagram, I'll show you some of the pictures that I took, because I got some great pictures. I took some pictures with the bride and groom, and the Burton brothers were there. Kevin and his brother, Brent.
Let's say Tim.
No, the local Burton brothers. And as I will tell our next guest, I sat next to her husband's legal secretary, which was uncomfortable. There's nothing worse than being at a wedding by yourself. I took a picture of Carla's place setting. It had her name on it. I'm thinking about sending it to her, but no. Quick timeout. Teresa Goldner joins us next. We have a headset for her.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With us on the news, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President
What?
Trump says the U.S. has carried out a
Should
strike
I?
in the southern Caribbean against a drug-carrying vessel that departed from Venezuela that was operated by the Tren de Aragua gang. The president said 11 were killed in the operation. He said in a Truth social media posting the strike occurred while the terrorists were at sea in international waters transporting illegal narcotics heading to the United States.
You should have seen
8
Big
people
Mike
were
in the
killed and
wedding.
50 others were wounded over the Labor Day weekend
Yeah.
in dozens
I
of
was making
shootings
fun of him.
in
Show
Chicago.
us now.
President
he's
Trump
kinda
has
looking a little
seized
bit
on
like the
crime to
mother.
justify a greater
'Cause, you know,
federal
his
law
back, he
enforcement
was all the
role in
groomsmen.
Chicago.
So all the
The
groomsmen come
city
down there in their
persistently
tuxedos.
struggles with spikes
They're
in
all walking like
shootings
this.
during summer holiday weekends, particularly on the south and west sides.
That's it.
More
That's all about.
details at
You look a little bit like Hunchback of
slnnews.com.
Notre Dame there, bro. Little
News Talk
Quasimodo.
96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
And then as soon as the civil I'll get it. And he's out smoking.
Going straight to a cigar.
Yeah. I was about to grab that.
I'm sorry that I'm dressed so cash today.
You look fine.
been
What are you
crazy
talking
day.
about? Go right ahead. It's not a wedding.
I did hear you talking about the wedding.
I sat next to your Barry's legal secretary.
Marianne?
Is that her name?
Marianne Dennis? Hi. Hello. Yeah, Marianne Brown. Barry has several secretaries.
Yeah.
What does she look like? Thank you.
I don't know. Her husband went to South, and for some reason thought I went to South.
Where's her husband over there?
Yeah.
Dennis is great. Dennis is fun. He rides motorcycles. He flies airplanes.
Yeah, that's
he does
him.
all kinds of stuff.
I'm pretty sure he thinks I'm gay.
Why? You look
Well,
very nice
first-
today.
Thank you. Well, I'm wearing my pants from the thing.
From the wedding?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Just the
So you're
pants.
still dressed up like the wedding. That's good.
No, I went all black.
Very nice.
I went
Well,
all
what's wrong
black.
with that? That's hip.
It was
That's not
100
gay.
something degree. Oh no, this is why I think he thinks I'm gay. He first he asked me, when did you graduate? And I said 94.
Yeah.
And he goes, wow, you're much younger than I thought. I graduated in 87. And I go, oh, you meant high school. Oh, dude, I thought you meant college. I'm sorry, I graduated in 80.
I don't think Dennis.
And he goes, oh, okay, yeah, that makes more sense. I go, yeah, dude, I'm 63 years old. Are you kidding?
Did he think you were really
You
young?
thought that I graduated from high school in
Oh,
94.
isn't that sweet? That means he thinks you look really good.
No, because he was
Got
like,
your haircut.
wow, you're younger than I thought. No, so he thought I was old. And then he said, so Ralph, are you married? I said, no. I said, have you ever been married? And I said, no. And he kind of looked at me like, oh, wow. And I was like, and I was there dateless. Pretty sure he thinks I'm gay.
No, just
You'll
because
get
you go
the-
there, just because you go to something without a date doesn't mean you're gay.
No, but the fact that he asked me, I can't remember the last time somebody asked me that. Have you ever been married? And the fact that he asked me that and I said no,
Did that make you feel self-conscious? I'm
just the
sorry.
fact that I was there alone made me feel sick because nobody was there alone. Everybody had a date. Everybody had a date.
You shouldn't worry about that stuff.
Okay, Chris and I are arguing. I took a picture of Carla's place setting.
Yes.
Do I send it to her?
Sure.
Because she blew me off at the last second. My ex-girlfriend.
No.
That's what I said. Chris
No.
said do it.
No, Chris. No. Don't do that.
Carla.
No, don't do that. Definitely don't do that.
It's a Tuesday. And for those that are subscribing on YouTube, you can tell that Teresa Goldner is live in studio. How are you, Judge?
I'm doing great.
Yeah,
Had a busy 3 days.
I did too, and had a wonderful.
I heard.
Got
I
to
was
go to a
as I
wedding.
was driving over here, navigating all the construction stuff. Went to a wedding.
Yeah, Robbie Pratt.
Very
Do you know
nice.
Robbie?
I do not. I know some Pratts, but not Robbie Pratt.
Yeah, he's a former
So-
fireman, and now he's a local businessman.
That's great. I
doing
heard it was a big
extremely
wedding.
well. Huge, 300 people.
Wow, that is a big one.
How many were at your daughter's?
150,
Wow.
and we wanted to keep it so we could put it in the front yard
Yeah.
and the backyard
Yeah.
and the
he-
house.
He went to the El Tango. Have you ever heard of that?
No, where is that?
See, that's what literally the
Tango or
only
tango.
Tango. The only person that I have talked to, including at the wedding, including everybody at my dinner table,
Mhm.
Randy down the hallway, our hot DJ. That's the name of the station. I like the guy. It's called Hot. Is the
Station
only
is
person.
HOT?
Hot, isn't it? Call Hot. Hot
I got
94.1.
caught a hottie one time.
You are a hottie.
When I was county council, somebody
You-
called me a hottie in a
You
letter.
you are a hottie.
Except they spelled it, they didn't mean it like that. They spelled it Haughty.
Haughty?
Yes.
You're a
You know
hottie.
what that means? He said, "You're very haughty," and I was laughing at it because I know what he meant.
Right.
You know, and John Nyland, who was the CAO, County Administrative Officer at the time, just teased me forever about that. He goes, "Oh, it's our haughty county council," like I was a HOTT.
So you get away with that in the 20th century.
Yeah,
I'm
well, I
not
don't
sure
care
the
about that
CAO
stuff.
could say that in 2025, even in the hallway joking.
Well, we were friends, so I knew what he was talking
Literally, but think about that. If he said that today and somebody else heard it, some woman, some Karen heard that,
about. That's silly.
she could make a complaint.
He was just being fun.
But that's, I'm not telling the truth. If I said that to one of our salespeople, I would be called into HR.
If you called her a hottie,
Yes.
what if you wrote an email saying you're being very haughty, Haughty?
I don't think technically you could get me in trouble for that.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah.
I was called haughty, so you know.
But you are hottie. But
That's not the kind he was referring to, though.
no, I totally got off from where I was talking about. But anyway, it
I'm
was a
sorry I
beautiful- it was a-
interrupted you.
No, that's all right. It was a beautiful wedding. And like I said, I told you during the break, I got to meet your husband's legal secretary.
Marianne.
Yeah.
Marianne Brown, and she's married to Dennis.
Yeah, very nice.
They're a
couple.
great couple.
They are.
They ride motorcycles and fly airplanes and do all kinds of fun stuff on the weekends. They have a very fun life together. They
For-
recently flew out to, I believe, Oshkosh for some kind of aviation celebration, and I think Marianne got an award out there.
Really?
Yeah, so she's wonderful. I'm glad you got to meet her.
Yeah.
She's great.
She loves her employment.
Oh,
She loves working for your husband.
Well, he loves having her work for him.
Yeah.
She's also my legal secretary.
Is that right?
That's right. She has several lawyers that she does work for. She's amazing. She
Wow.
really is.
Yeah.
We're very lucky to have her.
Okay.
Thank you, Marianne.
I don't think she listens.
She might.
No, I don't think so. Her husband pretended that he listens, but I don't think he listens either. They may be listening today because I did say I was going to talk about the wedding,
Oh, good.
but they may,
Dennis, are you listening?
I wouldn't bet on it. But it was beautiful.
Oh, I'm so glad you had fun.
For about 5 seconds, I had a debate in my head.
Why?
For about 5 seconds.
About what?
Marriage.
About whether you should be married or
Yeah.
shouldn't be married.
Yeah, whether I should be.
And
For
what
about
was
5
your,
seconds.
what was the pro con on that?
Literally, Terry, I had this conversation in my head as I saw April coming up the thing. I said, you know what? Maybe I should. Would you shut up? Shut up.
So you had the angel and the devil on your
Yes.
shoulders.
And the devil was like, would you, what is wrong with you? Stop.
Well,
And
so
it
what
quickly
the-
was dismissed.
What was the maybe part? Because they're so much in love.
Yes, and it was
It'd be
just
very
so
nice to have something
yes,
like that.
yes.
I think it would be nice if you got married.
And you need to know Robbie. Robbie was a famous or infamous bachelor.
Ah,
And I was thinking, if he could do it,
you can do it.
No.
But I think, well, of course, it's all about being able to meet the right person.
There you go.
When you know, you know.
Yeah. See.
And we just celebrated our 43rd
Wow.
wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
Long time, but we actually met in law school.
Yeah.
We clerked up at the California Supreme Court together.
No one at our table had not been divorced. In fact, one couple, and I'm not going to name the couple, so don't
Really?
ask.
Really?
Don't ask. But one of the couples, I think, was on their third marriage.
Well,
But it had gone on for a long time.
see
So the
that?
third was the charm.
Let's see. Hope springs eternal.
Yeah.
When in love, I think. I don't think it matters as long as you keep searching for it and hopefully you find it.
I think it's better, and I think this is one of the reasons I never got married. Is I think it's better never to have been married than to have been married 3 times.
Well,
Do you realize how broke I would be if I'd been married 3 times?
if you'd be paying spousal support.
Yes,
yeah.
I would
and
be.
probably child support, but that would be okay.
I
be
would
all
be
right.
I would be living in a studio on 4th and P. That's where I would be if I had gotten married.
You know, I am going to my 50th high school reunion in a week. And I remember at the last one, I think it was the 30th or 35th or something like that. And one of the awards that they gave was to the person that had been married the most.
The most.
The most.
And what was the winning number?
I think this woman had been married 6 times
Wow.
by the time of our 30th. And I
Challenge.
remember her from high school, and she was a very shy, quiet, introverted person. She would be the last person that I would think would be married so many times.
Yeah.
So You never know.
Going after Zsa Zsa.
Could be. How many
And
times was
Elizabeth
Zsa Zsa married?
I think 7.
So did she beat
And
out Elizabeth Taylor?
No, I think Elizabeth has the record. I think she was married 8 times.
Yeah, she believed in love. That's for sure.
I guess. Married Richard Burton twice.
I know.
Crazy.
They were meant for each other. I don't
Well,
know. why they couldn't
apparently
stay
not.
together.
Yeah, they couldn't
well,
stay together. All right, what do we got today?
well, I was going to talk about one thing, and I told you what I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to talk about President Trump's announcement that he's going to sign an executive order requiring voter ID in all elections, all federal elections. But then I heard on the radio that a big ruling came down from the Northern District of California about Trump and Newsom. And I thought, oh, I got to find that. So I went to the court's website, whipped out the case. I brought a copy of it for you because I know you're going to read it.
You know I
'cause
will.
It has to do with what we also talked about last week. And the judge in that case this morning issued a 52-page ruling saying that President Trump's occupation of Los Angeles with the National Guard is
Was-
unconstitutional because, well, actually, not unconstitutional.
Illegal.
It violated the Posse Comitatus Act.
Which we talked about several weeks ago.
That's why I thought we could talk about that. Very interesting. I mean, how often do you have a case about Posse Comitatus?
How many times do you say that word?
Can you say it 3 times
No.
without being nasty?
No. That's why I said I'm not going to try. I'm not even going to try. You're going to get me into trouble,
Posse
Terry.
Comitatus, Posse Comitatus.
Yeah. Okay.
Posse
All right.
Comitatus.
All right.
Okay, that is a law from the 1700s. And you don't see very many cases on this law, but that's what this case is about. And do you know what Posse Comitatus means?
Yes, I do.
What does it mean? I figured you probably would.
I forgot.
First of all, it's Latin.
Yes, I'm
And
aware of
so
that, and I know Latin.
Posse, P-O-S-S-E, means power of the country, or force of the country, or force of the county. Power of the county, force of the county.
Right?
And the term comitatus means, remember that one?
No,
It means company. Means what it means is
the group.
the group
Yeah.
of the county. And it came from the time when, it came from England actually, when the sheriff used to call all the civilians together to help him come out and enforce the law. And it had to do with keeping the federal, when it came to the United States, it had to do with describing the sheriff's authority to call upon local citizens to assist in law enforcement, but only if the sheriff asked them to. And so it kept the military out of those kinds of disputes,
Right.
and instead had the sheriff enforce the law and not the military, not the soldiers. And that law has been around since 1878. And I thought you would be interested in learning about it because it came about during the Reconstruction era.
Yeah.
And we talked about that last week.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see why what does your logic tell you about why they would have had to adopt the Posse Comitatus Act back in the Reconstruction era? Because I know you knew about Reconstruction because you talked about
Yes.
it last week.
And the whole antebellum period.
That's right. There was a lot of violence going on between the southern states who are no longer, they're southern states, but they were not part of the Union. And remember how during Reconstruction, they were trying to bring them into the country and get them not only rebuilt, but get them to learn how to cooperate with people from the North. And there were a lot of fights over that, lots of tough stuff over that. And so
Because many of the
Posse-
Northerners were trying to go into the South as what they call, where we came up with the term carpetbaggers,
that's right.
and take over the land
That's right.
that once belonged to all the Southerners. And what Lincoln wanted and handed over to Andrew Johnson, who was the very first president to be impeached, because he tried to carry on this reconciliation with the South, and many of the Northerners didn't want it. Many of the Southerners didn't want it, really.
It was
They
very
still-
unpopular.
Yeah.
I thought that's what was surprising to me. So in my research about the Posse Comitatus Act, I found out that it was passed in response to the federal troops' use in southern states during the Reconstruction era to enforce civil rights and voting rights
Right.
way back when. So they brought in the troops to enforce people's right to vote, which is kind of like what I was going to talk about originally, voting rights. But this case with Trump and the California versus Trump has to do with this act. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
And so the judge in this case, you'll see as you read it tonight, hopefully you'll read it. He goes through what the purpose of the Posse Comitatus Act is, and it's basically to keep federal troops out of states' business. So the states are going to enforce their own laws, and the federal, of course, the federal law enforcement agents can enforce their own laws, but not the military. And I thought that was very interesting. So the judge really went through a lot of different reasons for the Posse Comitatus Act. And they said that one of the exceptions to that act is that where the act would basically says, no, you cannot invade the state's rights to police themselves on things. So that's the basis genesis of it. But this thing called the Insurrection Act was an exception to the Posse Comitatus Act. But you could only have 3 ways for the president to be able to deploy the National Guard in a state under the Insurrection Act. And one of those is if there were unlawful obstructions, combinations, or assemblies or rebellion against the authority of the United States. That's one way that the president can do it. Another way was if he determines that any insurrection, domestic violence, unlawful combination, or conspiracy hinders the execution of the laws of the United States, and that the authorities of that state are unable to, fail to, or refuse to protect that right, privilege, or immunity, or to give protection to the state's citizens. So under the Insurrection Act, that's the only way that that President Trump could go in, bring in the National Guard. And he said because those things did not exist based on what the facts as presented to the judge in this case, that Trump did not have an exception, and therefore the Posse Comitatus Act applied, and Trump, and according to this particular judge, the federal government violated the law.
Now I'm confused.
Yes.
Because everything you said is true, and most of us have read and seen this, but the judge also said that the 300 guardsmen that are there can remain. How is that?
He talked about that. Let me turn to the page on that. He talked a long time about what the 300 troops did when they were there. He talked about, it was called Task Force 51 troops, and how they were deployed to do a lot of different things, including go out to a cannabis farm in Carpinteria, 80 miles from downtown LA, to see what was going on with the marijuana. How they blocked buildings, they blocked streets, they went over, they seized narcotics, they did all kinds of things that were not just having to do with federal law enforcement, apparently, according to this judge. They went to another cannabis farm. They went out, I guess, to several cannabis farms. But he said that they were there for 3 months. And the judge said that that was wrong because they weren't really enforcing federal law. They were acting as a police force. And that's not what National Guard is supposed to do, according to this judge. But he said they can stay there only until this order is an injunction that the court issued saying you have to get out and you can't do this again. But it's not going to be effective for a while, I think until October. Is that what you're asking about?
Yeah.
And that's because he wanted to give the administration time to appeal the case.
Oh, okay.
And that's not unusual. When
Okay.
it's a big controversial case, you give them time to go file their papers. I'm sure they're going to appeal in a heartbeat. But the Trump administration was relying on another Ninth Circuit case that actually interpreted the Insurrection Act in a way that apparently the administration thought that they had authority to go in and do this. And I think there's some arguments why they would have had authority to do it under that law. But when he started talking about the Posse Comitatus Act, here's what he said. This is very interesting. He cites the Posse Comitatus Act. Can I read it out loud?
Absolutely.
It says, and he thought it was so important, whoever, except in cases and under circumstances expressly authorized by the Constitution or the act or an act of Congress, willfully uses any part of the Army, the Navy, the Marine Corps, the Air Force, or the Space Force as a posse comitatus or otherwise to execute the laws shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 2 years or both. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
So that's what it says. And he talks about what the test is to see if somebody actually violates the act. And I don't think I highlighted what it was, but basically he said that they exceeded the bounds of, they were trying to enforce civilian law and not a military environment. And so that's why they basically broke this law, according to him. I don't know if this is going to stand or not.
And it's very, very timely
Oh, yeah.
because today
That's why I thought
the
we should talk
president
about it.
rolled out that the Space Command headquarters is going to be in Huntsville, Alabama. That's what the press conference was supposed to be about.
Ah,
That's what it was supposed to be about.
what was it about?
But the fact that they're bringing,
About
they're
this?
moving, no, that they're bringing the Space Commander headquarters from Colorado, where Biden moved it, back to Huntsville, Alabama.
Oh,
Yeah.
why are they doing that? Did they say?
I think it's Tommy Tuberville is a red senator and it's
Alabama
a red
wanted
state,
it?
and Alabama wanted it. And he said something about Colorado not getting it because they're all mail-in ballots,
Hmm.
and he doesn't like that. Who knows why?
There you go.
But that was what my point is. That's what it was supposed to be about. But when you've got the press corps in the Oval Office, they can take it any way they want. And they asked him about Chicago. And let's play that. The number one bite. Here's what the president said just hours ago.
Well, we're going in. I didn't say when we're going in. When you lose, look, I have an obligation. This isn't a political thing. I have an obligation. When you lose, when 20 people
hear
are
it.
killed over the last 2.5 weeks, and 75 are shot with bullets. So let me tell you a little story about a place called DC, District of Columbia, right here where we are. It's now a safe zone. We have no crime. It's in such great shape. You can go and actually walk with your children, your wife, your husband. You can walk right down the middle of the street. You're not going to be shot, Peter. You're safe.
You're safe. And he said, that's his quote, well, we're going in. We're going in. And then Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, had an immediate press conference after that with the mayor and said, we don't want you here, bop, bop, bop. And I think this is a absolute slam dunk winner for Donald Trump, because now you've got the governor of Illinois and the mayor of Chicago coming off a 3-day weekend where 8 people died in Chicago, 57 people were shot, and there were 37 incidents of shootings in one weekend, coming off last weekend where 7 people died. So go ahead and die on that hill, Pritzker. Go ahead and die on that hill, Mayor of Chicago, that everything is hunky-dory in the state of Illinois. We don't need any help in Chicago. And what amazes me is Pritzker and these mayors, they're not going into Cabrini Green. They're not going into the ghettos. Do you really think that the people that live in the ghettos of Chicago are the ones that are getting polled about whether crime is going down or whether the city is safe?
I would
And
think they
it's-
would welcome it. They would
Thank
welcome
you.
the National Guard.
Thank you.
If I lived there, I would.
And he even praised Mayor Browser of DC, who hasn't been welcoming, but she hasn't been one of these Democrats who says we don't need you. She's been like, I need all the help I can get.
Crime's is out of control in DC.
It absolutely is.
I mean, if anyone's been there in the last couple of years, all you have to do is walk around.
Carjackings are down 87%
That's
in the time that
phenomenal.
the National Guard is in DC.
That's phenomenal.
So I think the Democrats are in a tough spot.
Well,
What are they going to do about if he goes into Chicago?
They'll probably file a lawsuit
Yeah.
and they'll follow this ruling because it is very much on the side of the states, very much. As if it doesn't pass the posse comitatus test. And here's the test. This is what the judge said. The test is the same, whether the military has executed domestic law or actively assisted with the execution of domestic law, which would violate the act, or whether the military's involvement is so indirect as to not violate the act. So is the military going in to execute domestic law, state law, federal law? You would think federal law.
I was going to say.
I think if they went in and only enforced immigration laws, I think they would be in the safe zone. But if they go in to enforce other laws that aren't necessarily federal laws, or they act in ways that the state law enforcement would, then I think they might be in trouble legally.
So in other words, if
speaking.
they make arrests and things of that nature, search cars and things of that nature.
Yeah, and do the kind of things that they're talking about. But they went in after marijuana farms. Marijuana is still illegal under federal law. But that wasn't enough for this judge. This judge really came down very hard on the United States and actually talked about how the administration is planning on doing these occupations by the National Guard in other cities, and kind of, he fired the warning shot here in this case, in this holding, saying you can't do that. That violates the law.
Is this going to go to the Supreme Court?
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. I think it will.
So this and Chicago
Right.
will all
This will go to the Ninth Circuit. The Ninth Circuit,
will
based
agree
on
with Newsom.
they'll probably be left leaning, and then it'll go to the United States Supreme Court, if only for the fact that we haven't had very many cases under the Posse Comitatus Act since it was enacted in the 1800s. So if they're going to rely on an old law like that, I think it's time for the Supreme Court to come in and give us their modern interpretation of how it applies today.
This is going, what is the first Monday in October they return?
Yes.
This is going to be a hell of a session for the
Oh,
Supreme
I think
Court.
so too. I think they're going to have a lot of cases on, they call it their shadow docket. Their shadow docket is really their emergency docket, where they hear cases that have real urgency to them. And then they kind of get their rulings out really fast. And typically those are the ones that are the most controversial.
Yeah.
That like abortion really wouldn't be something that you would have heard on the shadow docket, but something like this really would be. So you're gonna see a lot like that, and you're probably gonna see, I think, another case on the executive order that President Trump said he's gonna execute about voting rights, requiring voter IDs for every federal election.
Which I think is outstanding.
Well, I think it's a great idea, but the question in that case is, does the president have the authority to make that the law? Because the way the Constitution reads, the states are supposed to handle the voting, but Congress can overrule what the states do. But there's no statement in the Constitution that says
Because the president can.
Yeah, the president can.
He can't. There's no way he can get away with this. Because 50 states, not that they do, but they could, every state could do it differently.
Right.
And
right.
several do.
Right.
Several vote for like weeks. Literally. Every state does it differently. There's no way he could win this.
And I think that's
Is there?
Well, he's relying on a lot of different laws. One of the things he's relying on is the take care clause of the Constitution. Take care that the laws are enforced properly, that kind of thing. And if he thinks, his feeling is that his position is that there's rampant voter fraud. And that's the reason why he wants to have these voter ID requirements for every election. But, a lot of states already have voter ID laws. So some states have the, what is it called? Same day registration, SDR laws.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying that statistically, the cases, the states that have the SDRs, same day registrations are more accurate. They're better. They have more integrity in their voting than the other states.
I voted for Mr. Trump. I'm glad he's president, but I'm fearful of what's going to happen in 2028. I really, really am.
What are you worried about?
Because if he doesn't like it, he's going to say it's rigged, and then what?
Oh, he's not going to.
Oh,
he's going to
Terry.
leave. He's not going to.
I'm not. No.
You're not gonna have to drag him
No. I don't believe that.
He's going to be ready
I don't
to
believe that.
retire.
I don't believe that because the Supreme Court would vote 9-0. He's got to
Right.
go,
So what are you
and a
worried
couple
about?
of Marines would grab him by his armpits and carry him out of the White House.
Well, they said that
I'm
last time.
He's just going to monkey it up. He's just going to
How-
say it's because he's just going to deny it, just like he's denying 2020.
Oh, you mean say it wasn't a valid election?
Yes.
Well, the losing party always says that. What did Hillary Clinton say?
She
Remember?
did say 16 was rigged.
She went all around saying it was.
Real quick,
Yes.
will the Supreme Court take Kathy Miller Tastry's bakery case?
Oh, I think they will.
I think they have to
Well,
because they didn't answer the question in Colorado.
that's true.
This
That's
one,
true.
they have to actually deal with the real matter. They, as you pointed
They kind of
out,
dodged the bullet.
they dodged it. They just said Colorado treated this man so badly. We're going to see in his. Now they've got to deal with, can a artist deny someone their artistry?
And that is a perfect case for them to get into the First Amendment,
Yep.
get in free speech,
Yep.
get into freedom of religion, and the nexus between the two, and which one, and what do you do with state laws?
Yep. That was great. That was great.
I talked too much.
No, you got it right out on the deal. Right on the deal.
Anyway,
that was perfect.
enjoy reading that. It's very historical.
I will.
I know you're a history buff. It goes into all that stuff.
Sweet.
So you'll
I
have
will
fun.
read that. I need
You might
something to
might
read
want
these
to talk.
days.
I think you're gonna
Yeah,
enjoy
I
it.
am worried. I really
What do you
am.
mean? What do you think he's gonna?
I just think he's going to monkey it up and he's going to say it was rigged. And what if he claims that the mail-ins are invalid and Congress goes along with it?
I don't think that's gonna happen. I really don't.
Could you have predicted
Democrats-
2020 was going to happen?
No, but the Democrats, they love to use the courts, to do whatever they can do. And so far, people still respect the rulings of the courts. So we'll see. The Supreme Court's we're all gonna have to rely on the Supreme Court, I think,
Yeah.
in the end, to kind of say, chill, cool your jets. Here's the deal, blah, blah, blah. But I actually think the courts were unfair to Trump when they heard those cases about voter fraud, because how do you prove something that is intentionally hidden? I think that's a pretty high burden. I know you don't believe in it, but I don't understand. I never
the story of the
understood.
boxes in Atlanta that
I
disappeared and
know.
all
They
that
didn't- they couldn't-
nonsense.
I know.
And Giuliani
Do you think-
defaming that woman, the
Oh,
two
I
black
know.
women, the
She-
mother, and
He
who
did
are
bad.
still trying to get their
Did you hear he was in a
compensation
car
from him.
accident?
Giuliani?
Yeah.
Was he driving?
Yeah, it turns out he stopped. I think he was not in New York. It was maybe upstate New York, not in New York City. He was driving and he stopped to help somebody who claimed to be a victim of domestic violence. Stopped his car, went to help her, and then I don't know if he got hit when he was in the roadway or it was part of him trying to help her. And he's in serious condition. He's in the
Really?
hospital. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So kind of
That's
sad.
horrible. I didn't know that.
But anyway, have fun reading.
That
this
was
text.
great. I am.
I think that
will.
it would be really fun to talk about voting rights.
Salty.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
Do you know Teresa Golder?
I don't think I've met Teresa.
Chef Salters?
The hand out there. There we go.
Look at he combed his hair and everything.
Oh, wow.
Good googly moogly.
I usually have a hat on. But,
Look who got a haircut.
I know. Look at me all sporting this button-down shirt and all. Don't
It's
slap
fall.
me. It's YouTube.
Well, yeah, that too. Yeah, that too.
So now we're using
Thank you,
these.
Teresa. See you next week.
So now we got these fancy schmancy things, huh?
Yeah, man. Have a seat.
So.
Yeah, I just need the one that says Salties.
Yep.
We would be twins.
Oh, you're twinning. Come on, man.
I take a hat too. Though.
Yeah, I know a guy.
You know, I see the boy every day.
I know. Hit him up. He don't have any out there though. I had to need to get him
But
some out there.
it works for advertising because every
Was
time
this
my
hers?
daughter sees them, she goes, "Can we have Salties?" I swear.
At school and jumping out. I know. Well, I was in
mac and
Vegas.
cheese.
Robert show up and he'll be like wearing the shirt or something. Like, you sorry son of a gun.
So
That's
I was
what
in
gonna ask.
I was in Vegas Saturday. We were over there for a barrel race, a charity thing we do, and I'm leaving, so I'm down around Henderson, going up to get some in and out before we hit the road. And my nephew calls me, "Hey, quit driving like an idiot." I go, "I ain't driving." He goes, "You just cut somebody off." I didn't cut anybody off. He starts laughing. He goes, "Nah." He goes, "Some guy calls me. He says he runs this big old carnival or something over there, and he saw your truck." And so he's like, "Hey, I want you guys to come cater our carnival." And I'm like, he says, "Nah, my owner's just there for an event."
Oh, in Vegas.
Yeah. You guys already getting business.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Hey, not yet. I got to get. I guess. Oh, heck yeah, dude. For haters and me and Robert have them. My nephew, he's got the small one, and Pops has it on his. But he doesn't drive. He's good. He don't get to drive anymore. So if you see the car running, it's me, and I drive like an idiot. And that way I can blame it on him. Yeah. So he's doing good. He's hanging in there. He's not. He just has those bouts where it hits him, where he's just like, he can't remember like simple stuff. Like today he's trying to tell me, "Hey, I saw that," and I help him. Yeah. So yeah. Forgot my brother's name the other day or who he was.
All right, explain to me what this thing is Thursday.
So it's Bakersfield Police Activities League hometown.
Hang on. Bakersfield Police Activity League.
Let me turn my phone on silent there.
Activity League?
PAL, Police Activities League. Let's see here. Let's go. Oh.
Yeah.
And it's their annual Hometown Heroes award, where they select leagues. It's how they did Bakersfield Police Activity League's 2025 Hometown Heroes honoree. That's what that says.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I need to know.
Yeah. And I invited and you graciously accepted to come and talk about the community side of things. my three boys will introduce me as from their perspective.
How
So,
many people you got introducing you?
yeah, you know, so I wanted them to be able to share their, you know, they're calling me their hometown hero. I wanted my three boys to say, this is who our dad is.
So it's Jim.
Jim's
me,
just reading the bio. This thing is all Jim's doing, from what I understand. Whatever bio that we ran in, Jeff Salters, da.
and then I'm going.
You're gonna go. You're gonna talk about community stuff. You know, because
then
you
your
and I've done a
boys.
lot of stuff together. You know what I've done, and then the boys will talk about dad. I'm not using this, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
no.
you are.
Oh, this is recorded
That's just for YouTube.
Oh,
Hour 2 of the broadcast on this Tuesday, second day of September, with football, professional football, Dallas, Philly, minus Micah Parsons. 48 hours, actually 50 hours away. And I can't wait. We'll talk some sports when we get into the 5:30 hour. We'll talk about the U.S. Open, talk about the Dodgers who got to win, Sunday to save the series, but played like idiots over the weekend. In fact, one of the Dodgers is our donkey of the weekend. We'll get to that. I've never seen the Dodgers play so stupid. Where Freddie Freeman made a horrendous base running mistake, Kiki Hernandez, our donkey of the day, and Mookie was involved. I'll explain. The good news is we still have a lead on the Padres. The bad news is the Phillies were winning all weekend long. And now we're in that third spot, meaning we might have to play a best 2 out of. Oh, shut up. Don't even turn your microphone on. Don't even turn your microphone on. The boy's a Philly fan, so he's in there.
no Philly
Yes.
fans.
Yeah, he's all in there.
Yeah.
Whatever. Don't even turn your microphone on. That's the bad news, that we're like a game and a half or maybe even 2 games behind Philly for that third spot. As you can see, for those of you subscribing on YouTube, Jeff Salters is live in studio, owner, operator of Salty's Barbecue, overall good egg. What's really going on, Salty?
Well, good to see you, man. It's been a
Good
minute.
to see you too, man. I haven't seen you since.
Took the summer off, I guess. It's got hot. We hung out.
Well, I've been 9 weeks with gout,
Ah,
so I've been coming to work and going home and not doing much.
no
anything
play
else.
for Ralph.
I have not played golf in 3 months,
Wow.
and it's killing me, Jeff.
Ah,
It's killing me.
no, that's not good.
And when I play, I'm going to shoot 100 because it's going to be like starting all over again.
You know what, though? One of
And
my
I was
guys.
just starting to play well.
So we were closed yesterday, right? So
Yeah.
about, I don't know, a bunch of my guys. There were 12 guys all in total. Went down to a course down in Riverside somewhere, some beautiful course.
Yeah.
They played, and one of my guys who just he's recovering from his gallbladder surgery or whatever, so he's
Yeah.
still kind of a little tender, but he's probably 4 or 5 weeks, post-op. Shot an 85.
That's disgusting.
You know why?
Why?
Because he quit trying to hit the ball hard.
Yeah.
He says, I purposely didn't overswing. I wasn't trying to hurt myself. And he was hitting the ball straight. What do you do when you hit the ball straight? You hit the second ball straight.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you're putting and chipping.
Yeah.
Right?
No kidding. No
Instead of
kidding.
chasing the woods.
Yeah.
You know?
That's where I am.
There,
That's where I am.
hello.
Explain why I got you live in studio. Got a little event coming up this Thursday. We've got a local hero live in studio. Please explain, Mr. Salters.
Oh my goodness! Several months ago, I was contacted by representatives from the Bakersfield Police Activities League, and informing me that in their meetings earlier this year, that they had selected me as this year's Bakersfield Police Activities League hometown hero honoree.
Congratulations.
Thank
Well
you.
deserved.
You know what? It's
Well
a great
deserved,
honor.
my brother. I'm waiting for verdict any second now. Come on, join me, Chris. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
there
you.
we go. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
But
Well deserved, my brother.
I appreciate it. I do stuff because I love our community, and I love to be able to support this community, the people who give so much to us, right? And so this time, I guess it got recognized, and we get to show up Thursday night at Luigi's at the warehouse and have a big event to raise some money for Bakersfield Police Activities League. That's it's a big fundraiser they do every year, and so I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to I have a guest speaker coming. You may know him.
Yeah.
His name was the one and only
Ralph Bailey.
Ralph Bailey.
I'm going to show people how to publicly speak.
Yes.
I really am, Jeff.
You do.
No. It won't be the words It won't be whether I'm funny. It will be the key to public speaking, Jeff. Do you know
Yes.
what that is?
Brief.
Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you. Thank you, my brother. That is exactly it.
Yes.
I will go about 3-4 minutes tops, because let me explain this to all of you. Once you go past, I don't care what event it is, I don't care who you are, how smart you are, how well you communicate, how funny you are. Once you go past the 5-6 minute mark, you have lost the entire audience. You really have. I'm going to get up there and I'm going to kiss his butt and I'm going to run off the stage. Keep it simple, stupid.
That's my theory
The
right
KISS
there,
theory.
man. Absolutely.
It is at every event I go to, you get these people that aren't professionals and they get a hold of one of these things and they fall in love. They absolutely fall in love.
It's my microphone.
And 13 minutes later, people are like, "Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah.
Bailey's still talking?"
Yeah.
2-3 minutes tops, Jeff.
So my boys, right? They're gonna speak. So I have 3 sons.
Now, family is
Scott,
excluded.
Yeah, Scott.
Family's excluded.
Yeah, but they're all like, hey, how long do we go? I go, talk as long as you want. Say all the good stuff. You get 3 to 5 minutes. And I told them,
They're
3,
gonna go
5,
longer.
6 minutes, 10
They're
minutes.
gonna go longer. It's their dad.
And that's what I told them. I said, it's you guys. You can, if you want to fill it up, fill it up. I said, it's our event that night. There's nobody in a big hurry. I think it's just, I wanted my sons to be there to introduce me, and for each of them, because obviously, there's 3 sons, there's 3 relationships, and 3 different views, right? They're all mine, but they all have this different, a different perspective, different relationship, right? Because they're different. Each one
How
of them
old are
is
your
a,
sons?
So my oldest is 37. That's Justin. And then my middle son, Robert's 35. He's the one that runs the restaurants with me.
Right.
And then Scott is 30 years old, and he's in commercial real estate. And Justin's got a cool little company. He does a lot of PR marketing stuff called Hey Salty.
Yeah. Nice.
So it's work. So it's to get them up there to do it. It's a great honor. And then, as soon as I found out about this, I think I contacted you and I said, hey man, would you be, one of the guys to help kind of talk about the community side of things, right? They're going to talk about the personal stuff, the relationship, the dad things. But, you and I have been through a lot. We've gone on, I don't know how many trips have been on our flight.
Like 4.
Yeah. And are you going next one?
I'm not sure.
Get your bags packed, get your butt
Yeah.
on there. I'm going.
In October?
Yeah, Mike's going.
Yeah, he told me that.
Yeah,
That's the
so-
only reason. I sometimes feel like I'm now that Kevin is like a part of On a Flight, he goes every trip now.
He's not this one.
Oh, he's not?
No, because Mike's going, right? Isn't Mike going in that spot this time?
Oh, there's only one TV media spot?
Usually he's always one.
I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
thought Charette was like permanent because he does.
I don't know. When Mike said he was going, I just assumed he was the TV spot. Usually there's only one TV spot.
I bet Charette goes.
Yeah.
Because and no disrespect to Mike, because Mike is
Yeah.
a great editor and writer, is going to do a great job. But Kevin is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I didn't know he edits. Remember, I was
yeah.
on the run and had to because we were late one night, and I had to go into the bus when we were at the Air Force
Right.
thing, and had to get ready and talk to Chris and do some things while they were at the Air Force thing.
Mhm.
And I went into the bus, and there was Kevin on
Editing.
his laptop editing his piece for that night. And I saw the piece, and it was outstanding. He had music. I mean, he did this all by himself. He had music in his piece.
Guys are talented, right?
And video, and
I'm like cut and
sometimes
paste.
yeah. And after you see that, I just think the radio thing, and I listened to my last radio broadcast from DC, and I thought it was horrible.
Yeah.
Because I get so panicked that because my interviews with these guys are only 2 or 3 minutes long.
Mhm.
And I'm so afraid that I'm not going to have enough material to fill 3 hours that I started talking about our bus driver. Remember our bus driver?
You mean the guy that couldn't drive?
Yes, exactly. I started telling that story.
Yeah.
And to us, it's funny because we experienced it. But if you're back in Baco and you want to hear about the veterans, and I'm talking about the bus driver,
Yeah, but you know what?
I don't
though?
know if that's
I think your audience,
yeah,
your audience is your audience because of the stories that Ralph tells
yeah.
and the way you tell those stories. And whatever that story is, if you're talking about the way that squirrel crossed across that block wall out there and ran into a car, whatever it is, they're engaged in it because you have an ability to to make something become alive
And-
to the ears, right?
and the
Because I
sto-
don't see it except through my ears and my mind.
And the story about the bus driver was funny.
It was hilarious.
Tell the story about a bus driver.
Bus driver.
Because
didn't
you
know-
were the one that ratted him out. Jeff was the one that got the guy whacked.
I just said he didn't know how to drive his bus.
We had a
you know?
dude that did not know how to drive his bus.
We got guys in these bus. You have to get the bus next to the curb
Yeah.
to get
Oh,
our guys.
that was the least of our problems.
Yeah, well, yeah, he didn't know how to stop. He didn't know how to go anywhere. We're on our way to World War II Memorial. That's the first stop.
And we almost got lost.
We almost get lost, and he pulls over.
Jeff,
and I said,
Jeff had to tell him how to get to the World War
I
II.
said, what are you
Memorial.
doing? So yeah, exactly. I pulled up my Google Maps and my maps, I was like, okay, turn left here, turn right there. And it's like, do you not know where we're in Washington, D.C., man? You should know where we're going.
And what you have to understand, see, this is why I don't think they get it, because what you have to understand, the bus drivers are an integral part of this. They act as like tour guides. They're local. They're all from the DC metro area. And they're like, doing, Jeff had to be our tour guide because our guy didn't know anything.
Man.
And Jeff was like, by the way, that's RFK Stadium over to the left. And the bus driver was like, where? Oh, is that right?
That's cool.
That's kind wow. And it got so bad that they heckled him.
Oh, yeah.
We had people in the back.
Oh, Josiah.
Exactly. The guy who kept saying, I hope you got insurance because my neck is killing me. It was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure if it
he cost
translated.
the company a tire on that trip, too.
He blew out a tire.
Yeah.
And that was another funny part.
Yeah.
So we're all waiting in the lounge. This is after the first day, our experience with our bus driver. And we're waiting in the lobby because one of the buses are late because somebody blew a tire. And everybody on our bus was like, it was our guy.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know it was our guy. And it was.
And sure, and we get a new driver the next
And
day.
Jeff got us a new driver the third day. That was
Because
funny.
honestly, he was, and hopefully he learned something. They take back and kind of retrain him, I guess. But like he had no idea. Like I would literally have to tell him, "Hey, get closer." And he'd try to stop and say, "No, turn the wheel to the right, pull up to the curb." And he finally, I'm like going, keep going. Okay, stop.
Yeah.
And I'm leaning over the seat, looking out the window, trying to get us up because our guys can't step off the bus in the curb,
Right.
back on the curb, a sidewalk. It has to be from the bus to the sidewalk. You got to limit that space there. Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
But even all that, what I'm saying is that people are entertained, right? This is entertainment, and it's also informative. And I think when you're there, I think it's great because you get to do a live spot, boom, right now, talk to these guys. And I think we can work on it. You and I need to plan this out, how to make it work to that dinner time, because when we do the big dinner, we kind of lose you for 3 hours, right? And we kind of
Yeah.
bring you up some cold food or, this time if you get out in time, we'll walk down to Morton's and,
Yeah, I talked about that too. See, that's another thing
Yeah.
where I was like, just filling time.
Yeah.
I was like, and Salters brought me up a cold plate of food. And guess where Salters went to dinner that night? He went to Morton's. Oh, I ratted you out.
Oh, you see?
I ratted you out. I was like, that. He had a nice steak.
Oh, it was good.
I had some cold vegetables and some chicken. I spent about 20 minutes complaining.
Marginally good chicken.
Yeah. Well, I'm really excited about this. It is, again, well reserved. It's the Bakersfield Police Activities League's annual honoree,
Yes.
hometown hero,
And
Jeff
I'm
Salters.
highly honored to be there.
And-
It's great. It was a big surprise, and man, what a cool honor to have.
Yeah. How'd you get nominated? Do you know?
I have no idea. They came to the restaurant one day. They're bored and said, "Hey Jeff, we're gonna have lunch at the restaurant. Can we talk to you?" I'm like, "Okay." And they said, "Hey, we had a board meeting. We're talking about this year's nominees." Yada, and
Is
then-
Derek Jeffries on the board? Because I bet.
Yes.
I bet he had
Him
a lot
and
to do with it.
Officer Laura.
Yeah.
He's on there, and so he's the one that contacted me and said, "Hey, can we come and have a meeting with you?" And
I bet he had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
DJ's a great kid.
They just said, "Hey, man, we threw your name out there, and that was in the conversation. We want you." So,
Congratulations, my
thank you,
brother.
man.
Well deserved.
Look
I
forward
cannot
to
wait.
seeing you there. I know you're gonna be running from the show that night.
Yeah.
So you guys be
Yeah,
nice to Ralph.
I'll be a little late, but I'll be there by 6:20.
So
And it doesn't start till 7. Are there tickets available? Can people still?
yeah,
get
there's
there?
still tickets available. There's tables available. This is a fundraiser, right? This is their biggest fundraiser of the year. So get out there, buy a table, bring some friends, come out. They've got a live auction, I think. I know they got a silent auction. So they got all kinds of stuff they're doing there that night, all in an effort to raise money for the Bakersfield Police Activities Leagues. And at the end of the day, this goes to help our young people in our community and the activities that they do through their program. So
Again, well deserved. Can't wait.
thank
Can't
you,
wait.
sir.
It'll be a
I
fun
appreciate
night.
it.
Be a fun
Looking forward
night.
to it.
Good seeing you, Pop.
Thank you, sir.
And then you might have convinced me to go on my 6th trip. Might have convinced me.
See, there you go. And Bakersfield, you're welcome.
I got to talk to Lily. I got to talk to Lily. Jeff Salters, everybody. Quick timeout. We'll check the board, see what you all are talking about. Bottom of the hour, we'll talk about Chanel Jones, the reporter on the Today Show who lost her husband to brain cancer. We'll talk about the cancer. We'll talk about it more with Jeet Singh on Monday. It's glioblastoma, where if caught early, you got 15 months to live. If caught early. His was not caught early. He had 6 months to live. He died in 4 months. There's no cure. We'll talk about that. Now she's got 3 boys, 2 boys and a girl to raise by herself at the age of 45. They were college sweethearts at Northwestern University. I'll share that story when we come back. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Tuesday, short week, right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. That was great. That was
Thank
great. You think I should go, really?
I think you should. Because what I like about when you're there, Ralph, you know, again, get on my bus again. That's not my number. I think it's her. I think you get to bring us perspective that that's my phone right there. That TV can't give you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get
interviews.
that live man on the street. You know, I mean, they'll talk to people. You know, during, you know, but just I think guys when there's no this, they're so chill on it. Just tell me about this.
Yeah. They're great interviews.
Yeah, I mean, Helen. If you're not there, you know, although some of that got lost, I guess, remember what some of Helen's stuff. But those are great interviews. Those are great perspectives. And every time, what I love about ours, like you want to choose, there's 100 different guys with 100 new stories.
Well, talk to Lily for me. Give me where are y'all going?
October 11, 12, 13? No, 13, 14, 15.
When is Brunch Fest?
October 11th. How are you,
So-
sir?
I'm well. How are you?
Great.
When is plane leave?
Monday the 13th.
I'm going on the next one. Oh,
You're going?
yeah.
She's on the board.
I am.
I got
He's on the board now.
I would.
I know.
Was there a big discussion on whether or not I could go?
I don't. I
I heard
you're
there was.
always welcome.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
kind of rubbed some feathers. I was informed. My 50th anniversary point that I did for him, the 50th flight. So the whole flight, the flight number 50.
Yeah.
I called Matt, and because Matt and I are buddies. And
Yeah.
Matt, what do you do this coin? I said here, and him and I designed it with Ray.
Yeah.
Had his whole thing designed, and on the bottom it said, you know, thank you for your service, Salty's Barbecue Catering. I'm going to pay for this coin. Because it's probably for the 250 coin, whatever we had to buy.
So, board.
You know, $3,000, right? They're not cheap.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll pay for it. Take my way to go, but we'll do it. And they come back and they go, ah. So they redo it, take my name off. They said, what do you think? They said, looks great. I said, let's pay for it. So instead of letting me pay for it, the board decided, we don't know sure what it is. We got businesses all day long come up, stand in front, take pictures, and shake hands.
Right.
Because we're donating money to you.
Right.
It's the same thing, except now I'm donating the coin specifically for Flight 50.
I wonder who specifically got their feathers wrong.
No shit.
So,
There's a lot of drama though.
oh, yeah, I heard
Like
that.
my day almost quit.
Who
She's
did?
like my day. She's like one
Oh,
of the
yeah,
big.
Maida.
Yeah, Maida.
Yeah.
She yeah.
I heard she did quit.
But now she's like kind of like if we can get these things handled and very specific people,
Yeah.
then I'll come back.
All right, let me go in here. I'm on a hot mic.
Oh.
Just feel like I'm on a hot mic.
You should turn it off
I
when
should
you're
have turned
break.
it off.
You're over here.
I'll talk to Lily. I don't know if I should go. I don't. I can say that. I said that on the air. I don't know whether I should go.
Well, you
Do you think I should go?
You just let us go like this.
Well, I forgot.
I know you didn't.
Yeah, boy. Yeah. We didn't say anything. I go.
I'm going. Let's go. They're not listening.
Yeah, they are.
You're so wrong.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah, they are.
I might get everybody.
Armstrong and Getty Show, weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
Want to thank Jeff Salters. Salty. It's going to be a fun night. You all can be there. Jim Scott is speaking. I'll be speaking for a couple of minutes. What's wrong? Oh, we got to move the camera back.
So they can actually see you.
So we can actually see my ugly mug down. Sure, pull back just a little bit. It's like Tootsie. How far you want me to go back? Like Arvin, like Pine Mountain Club. Pull it back. Don't get too tight on the fat guy. And then we got to put it this thing back here, back on the microphone. And get them so we can hear Chris. And okay. All right, now we're ready. Here we go. 76842KERN. Let's check the board, shall we? Should I go, Chris? Bowden's going.
I don't see why not.
Salty's going.
You guys gonna
Mike
room
Hart's
together?
going. No, I get my own room. I get my own room only because it
The show.
is the broadcasting center. That's where I do the show from. And people come up.
I don't know. I liked your idea of sending other people from AGM to represent us and kind of do it every year and get everybody else some exposure in that area too. Because I do kind of like the idea of JR and like Scott and all them going 1 year as well. You had mentioned that like weeks ago, but
yeah, but
it is your thing though. It's still like, you know, we still do the fundraiser and stuff like that, and obviously the golf tournament.
JR couldn't do it because when his show goes on the air, we're out in the field.
That's true.
I mean, I go on at 9 o'clock or at 6 o'clock East Coast time.
Right.
And each day I'm literally running to the microphone. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah,
get
that's
back.
fair.
The day ends, each day ends at about 5:30 East Coast time. And I barely make it. Like I said, when I was talking to Jeff, at the end, one of the last stops is at the Air Force Memorial. And I had to go into the bus just to call Chris and explain some of the audio that I'd sent him, what I was going to use because we get back. And in fact, there's a video. I got the nickname Runnin' Ralph by Salty because, as I've talked about on the show, I left my phone. I got on the bus. We leave promptly at 7 o'clock in the morning. We have breakfast at 6. We leave at 7. And I left my phone upstairs. And I said, Jeff, who was our bus leader, I left my phone. Don't leave me. I'm going up to get my phone. And I ran upstairs and I'm coming down the elevator. It's a glass elevator. It's an old glass hotel in Virginia. And I see the buses leaving. And I'm like, that can't be our buses. I told Jeff not to leave me. And I realized it's our buses. So now I'm running through this posh hotel and running down the streets of Virginia. And fortunately, somebody on the bus was like, isn't that Ralph running after us? And they stopped the bus and I was they almost left me. They literally almost left me. And I got the nickname Runnin' Ralph the whole trip. So now on the second trip, it's 5:55 and we're really close to the hotel, but we're not quite. We're like 3 blocks. I go on in 8 minutes. There's no way we're going to get to 3 blocks. And this is with our bad bus driver. And there's no way we're going to get to these 3 blocks in DC traffic at 5:55. So I literally said, I got to get off the bus. I can run those because we can see the hotel, but it's 5:55 in DC or Virginia, but that's people coming home to Virginia from DC. So it's bumper to bumper traffic. And we can see the hotel, but we're not moving. So I just said, I got to get off. And of course, I'm running to the hotel. And what does Salty do? He films it.
Of course.
He films it. And of course, he narrates it. There he goes again, Runnin' Ralph. And you know, I'm 67 years old, bruh. My gait isn't what it used to be. You know, my cool little sprint ain't what it used to be. I'm an old man. Didn't realize until I saw that video of me actually running in hard shoes. I was like, that's not me. I run like a sprinter. I'm running like an old man. It's the back half of the hour. Don't go anywhere.
News
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With us in the news, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump says the U.S. has carried out a strike in the southern Caribbean against a drug-carrying vessel that departed from Venezuela that was operated by the Tren de Aragua gang.
Can I tell this real
President
quick?
said 11 were killed in the
So here's
operation.
my George
He said in
Raveling
a
story.
social media posting,
Raveling
the
is a
strike
young
occurred
security
while the
guard,
terrorists were at sea in
and the King
international
family
waters
hires
transporting
him
illegal
for the I Have a
narcotics
Dream
heading to the
speech.
United States.
What?
The House
I can hear
Oversight
this.
Committee has
I'm about to
publicly
tell it on the
posted
air.
the files it has
Sorry,
received
YouTubers,
from the
you're gonna have to hear
Justice
this story
Department
again.
on the sex trafficking investigation into
And he's
Jeffrey
like
Epstein
26,
and his former
27, he just got
girlfriend
into
Ghislaine
coaching,
Maxwell.
and he's a security guard.
Folders contain hundreds
So
of
he's been a
image
security guard
files
for
of
King.
years-old court
And now they
filings
scheduled the I
related
Have
to
a Dream
Epstein
speech, and
and
they asked
Maxwell.
Raveling to be
On
one
Wall
of the
Street, the Dow down by
security guards at the
249
speech.
points. More
And if you go
details
back
at
and look at the black and white speech,
srnnews.com.
you can see a young
News
George
Talk
Raveling
96.1
standing on
and
the far
AM
left side.
1180 KERN.
So
From
King
the
ends his speech,
KERN newsroom.
and they
Yours
all
live
mob
and
him,
local
and everybody
news
goes
update
and
on
obviously
News
follows
Talk
King.
96.1
And Raveling is
and
just
AM
standing
1180
there because the media is going to tell you a
KERN.
different story.
I'm
you're
Bill
gonna hear at
Robbins.
night.
A former
The media's
state
gonna
prison
tell
in
you that
California
King
City has officially
gave
reopened as
to
an ICE
George
detention
Raveling, a
center
young
and is
coach,
housing
the original
detainees.
speech.
This in spite
That's
of
not what George
months of
Raveling told me
protests. The
and about
facility will
400
be
other kids
subject
at a
to
basketball
independent
camp.
audit and
He
regular
told me
visits
and
by
us
officials,
at this
immigration
camp he spoke
attorneys, and
to
volunteers,
that
as
he
well
was
as
just
friends
standing
and
there,
families of the
and everybody
detainees.
left the
Governor
dais.
Gavin
They're
Newsom
all
has
mobbing
activated a
King,
task force to clear
and he
homeless
looked
camps
on the
off of
lectern,
state
and there was the
properties,
speech.
especially those located along freeways and underneath overpasses.
Is it? I didn't
Focus
see
on
it.
California's
And-
largest cities, including Los Angeles, San
And he just
Francisco,
picked it. He said, "I
Anaheim,
just picked
Fresno,
it
and
up."
Bakersfield, and
And
homeless
I asked some
people will be
officials if I could
connected
keep it.
with
They said, "Fine."
resources.
And
I'm
that's
Bill
his biggest
Robbins
claim
in the
to fame.
KERN newsroom
He
with
had
news every half
King's
hour or when it
original
breaks on
in
News
his
Talk 96.1 and
his I Have
AM
a Dream
1180 KERN.
Cashback is not available on
He
cash
kept it his whole life.
$5,000. That's the average amount of
it his
money
whole
people
life.
in the U.S. are now
Yeah.
spending on gas
Should
in
I
a
really?
year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas.
They say
Use
they
promo
can't hear
code
the audio they're
PARTY5
playing.
to get up to a $5 bonus
They
on
can't
your
hear
first
the
tank.
audio
You can
we're playing.
cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands.
Right, because remember the microphone wasn't in the headphones at the time. That's the
Oh,
same reason
oh.
she couldn't hear it too.
Oh, okay.
They will be able to now.
Right. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
Yeah, as long as that's what the time frame was of that message, then yeah, it's probably because we had the mic on Terry instead.
Always a good time. And we'll back all of that up with state-of-the-art news, traffic, and weather. It's all happening at 6 to 9 a.m. right here in News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
So I apologize to the YouTubers that have to hear this for the second time because I leave my mic on during the breaks. and I was in Randy's studio, and I just told him the story I'm about to share with you all. George Raveling passed away at the age of 88. He was a longtime coach. I got to cover him, actually. One of the cool things of working at a weekly newspaper, and there aren't many cool things about working at a weekly newspaper because you're not making any money. The only people reading your newspaper and your clippings are your parents and people that love you. That's not really true, because small community newspapers are actually very much read, because I worked for Coast Media Newspapers, which published weekly papers in communities. Like LA is not a city, it's a city, it's a mass wasteland of different little communities. Inglewood, Playa del Rey, Westchester, Marina del Rey, Hawthorne, Boop Bop Bit Bap. And I worked for the Inglewood News, and I was read a lot by Inglewood officials, the Inglewood City Council, the police chiefs. That's how I know the mayor of Santa Monica, James Butt. He was a sergeant for the Inglewood Police Department, and then became the Inglewood Police Department police chief, then became the Santa Monica police chief, then became the mayor of Santa Monica. And James Butts is a badass. He might be the mayor of LA one day. He's a badass. He really is. Former cop, and was a great source. But one of the cool things is you get to do a lot of different things. You can cover just about anything. And I got to cover a lot of sports, even though I wasn't a sports reporter, just to make some extra money. Our sports reporter would have me do some Friday night football, and I got to do some SC stuff, football. I got to go to the Coliseum. I've been in the press box at the Coliseum a couple of times, which is pretty cool. Not really. It's actually the worst seat in the house, believe it or not. But it's cool. Free hot dogs and free Pepsis. And one of the things I got to cover was SC basketball, and I got to meet George Raveling. And it was the second time I met George Raveling. First time I met George Raveling, I didn't even know who he was. It was at Bill Sharman's basketball camp, circa 1972, 73. I'm like 10, 11 years old. And tonight on the news, you're going to be told a story that just isn't true. George Raveling was a very, very, very successful basketball coach. Washington, SC, he was revered. He was considered one of the better coaches of his era, with John Thompson and Chaney, and I'm missing some of the names of those years, but just some of the older, Bobby Knight, Krzyzewski. No, it was even before Krzyzewski. He was Dean Smith era, 70s, 80s. But his biggest claim to fame, to his dying day, was the fact that he possessed the original version of Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech. Now, you're going to be told a lie tonight. You're going to be told by the media that Dr. King gave that speech to George Raveling. That's not what George Raveling told me and about 400 other kids at the Bill Sharman's basketball camp on the campus of Cal Lutheran out in Thousand Oaks, where the Dallas Cowboys were working out in 72 and 73, which also leads to a side show. Remember, I was talking about George Raveling because I'm getting off the freeway here. But that's where I stopped getting autographs. The Cowboys would have to. Cowboys are actually obviously on the football field. We're in the basketball gym. Bill Sharman, he had Jerry West come out. He had George Raveling come out. He had Pat Riley, who was the sixth man for the Lakers at the time, come out in his 70s mustache, and had a couple of Lakers come out, guys, Keith Erickson, guys you wouldn't remember. And George Raveling was one of the speakers. And Raveling told us the story. I was a young man, no idea who Raveling was. And he's telling us the story that I was once in security. And I was present, gentlemen. Does anybody know who Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is? And of course, I'm waving my hand. And he actually called on me. And I said, he went to my father's college. He went to Morehouse College. And the adults laughed. Because when you're asked, do you know who Dr. King is? You don't lead with, yeah, he went to Morehouse College, where my dad went to school. you know, you kind of lead with the whole civil rights thing is kind of what you should lead with. And I led with, yeah, he went to college where my dad went to school in Morehouse in Atlanta, Georgia. And the adults just laughed. And I was like, what are they laughing at? I didn't make that up. Well, he said, when I was a young man, I was hired as security. I was there on the stage with Dr. King when he gave that I Have a Dream speech in front of Abraham Lincoln in DC at the mall. And he said, after Dr. King was finished, Mahalia Jackson came down. They all hugged that, who, by the way, inspired Dr. King to innovate. It was Mahalia Jackson who said, tell him about the dream, Martin. And he went into I Have a Dream. That's a true story. Mahalia Jackson. I don't have time to tell you. I'll tell you in February, but Google her. She's a very important opera singer. Anyway, so the crowd is now obviously circling Dr. King. The focus is clearly on Dr. King. And George Raveling said he was just standing there and it was all but over and everybody's moving off the mall. And he said, I looked on the lectern and there was a piece of paper with writing on it. And it was his speech. So I picked it up, folded it very, very neatly, put it in my pocket. I have it to this day. That was in 1973. And he took it to his grave with him. That he has the original copy, the handwritten copy of Dr. King's most famous speech. Not his best speech. His best speech was given about 8 hours before he was shot, when he absolutely predicted, because I believe, as you all know, most of you who listen know, I believe Dr. King knew he was going to die very, very shortly. And I don't mean to digress, but I'm digressing. Dr. King had never talked about death. He knew it existed. He knew he wasn't going to live a long life. He knew that. I mean, he absolutely knew that. He had been attacked by a black woman in Harlem when he was in his 20s, and he called it the sneeze attack. The sneeze attack. Because she took it was a crazy black woman. He was at a book signing. He was in his late 20s. And he was at a book signing in Harlem. And the woman was crazy. And she grabbed a letter opener and she stabbed Dr. King in the heart. And the physician, and again, if you're ever impaled with anything, what do, Chris?
Leave it in.
You leave it in. You do not take it out. Why? Because now you're going to bleed out.
Massive hole.
You've left a massive hole in your chest or your arm or your leg. If you're ever impaled with anything, leave it in until a physician takes it out so they can stop the bleeding immediately. And the reason they called it the sneeze attack, because his doctor told him, had he sneezed, he would have died. So he knew he was not going to live a long life. And the night before he died, and I could play the audio for you, but I don't want to. We're on different things today. But he predicted, longevity. He says, every man would live a long life. Longevity has its place, but I'm not worried about that now. I just want to do God's will. And he's allowed me to go to the mountaintop, and I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. And I may not get there with you, but we as a people will get to the promised land. And then he dies 8 hours later. I don't think that's a coincidence. I really don't. That's his greatest speech. Wasn't even supposed to speak. It was a thundering, horrendous night in Memphis. And he was back at the hotel, the Lorraine Motel. And Andy Young and Jesse Jackson went to the church. And there were people literally standing in the rain waiting to hear Dr. King. It was a thunderous night. Andy Young sprinted back to the hotel. Dr. King was in his drawers eating chicken. I hate to say that because it sounds so typical, but he was. And Andy Young said, you got to come. They said, Andy, I'm speaking tomorrow. I'm not speaking tonight. And he said, they're standing out in the rain waiting for you. It's standing room only. And about 500 people are standing in the rain. And Dr. King said, get my jacket. And he went and he gave this impromptu speech where he predicted his own death. And he was shot in the neck 8 hours later. I just don't believe in coincidences. But I talk about that a lot. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll check the board, see what you guys are talking about. We'll talk about poor Chanel Jones, 45-year-old broadcaster for the National Broadcasting Company and the Today Show. She returns after an 8-month hiatus. Her husband died of brain cancer, glioblastoma, which, if caught early, will leave you alive for about 15 months. If not caught early, you'll die in 6. There is no cure. I'll talk about their incredible love story. The Powerball is up to $1.3 billion. And while I think it's the biggest scam in the world, while I honestly believe you have a better chance of being eaten by a shark at Lake Truxton, I'm buying a couple Powerballs tonight. I don't know about you, Bertie. I'm buying a couple Powerballs tonight.
I thought about it.
I'm definitely gonna buy a couple. Do you let them pick or do you pick?
I pick.
You just pick random numbers?
Yeah, favorite numbers of mine, yeah. Do they have to be in the same order, or is it all just a numerical?
It's all numerical.
Okay.
And somebody won all but the Powerball number.
Ooh.
Hey, they got a couple mil.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, you do think they're thinking for the rest of their lives. God, if I had just hit that last one. And of course, we'll ask you. So think about this, Burdick. When I say you, I mean you guys, but I want you to answer as well. What's your first purchase?
That's a good question.
You make $650, you got $650 million in the bank. Because after taxes, and that's the lump sum settlement of the $1.3 billion.
I got
$650 million. Oh, I got mine too. I know exactly what I do. Well, I'd start with the family. Put mom up in a palatial place. Get Thaddeus a place in Pasadena right near his college. Renovate my grandmother's house in Beaufort. But for Ralph Bailey, I know exactly what I'd do. What would you do? We'll ask you when we come back. And we'll talk a little sports. The Dodgers get back at it tonight, trailing Philly for that coveted second spot, so we don't have to get into a 3-game series to get into the playoffs. We'll talk about that. And football is literally hours away. And Bill Belichick is like, shut up, Ralph. Football has already started. And it don't look good. Good. Google it. Google it. Did you see that game?
Yeah, it was ugly.
And like the first drive, I was like, wow, Bill's got some kids. They took it 83 yards in the first series. 7-0 Tar Heels. And they never saw the end. No, they saw the end zone again. But by that point, it was OVA. He's going to quit after a year. He's going to quit after a year. You could see him on the sidelines. He doesn't look like he wants to be there, and the kids look like they don't want him. 21-year-old kids can't relate to a 70-something-year-old man. Come on. This was a bad mistake. Quick timeout. We're coming right back.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
It's the JR Show.
So Gavin Newsom wants to counteract what Texas is doing in their redistricting by trying to take the power back from an independent council so he can redistrict the California lines. Matter of fact, he's so confident that he's ready to put it before the voters. He keeps saying, don't poke the bear. Only you're not the bear, Gavin. We are the voters. And we'll have the final say. And you, sir, will have egg on your face.
The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
Reporting live again from the Santa Margarita Ranch. We're receiving reports that this Christmas, you're invited to climb aboard the enchanting Pacific Coast Railroad's Jingle Bell Express for a one-of-a-kind journey from the Central Coast to Santa's Village. Everyone, including this astute reporter, knows that the only way for non-elves to get to the North Pole is on real trains, and theirs include original Disney train cars. It's also being reported that on your journey, you'll pass through wonderful wonders of Christmas lights and sights. Then when you arrive at Santa's Village, there will be a captivating Christmas-themed magic show, a charming Christmas market, adorable pony rides, and more food, fun, and frivolity than ever. This just in, a reminder that the Jingle Bell Express only runs for a limited time from November 28th to December 21st, and tickets sell out fast. But don't worry if your plans change, because this reporter has it on good authority that your tickets can change too. So make sure you reserve your seats on the Jingle Bell Express by going to christmas@themargarita.com before the Christmas train passes you by.
King Door Company continues to set the standard in the garage door industry, and I'm here to tell you a few of the reasons why. First off, King Door carries Clopay garage panels and LiftMaster openers, so you're guaranteed quality and reliability well beyond the reach of most garage door companies, and it just gets better from there. King Door has a fleet of fully stocked service trucks with all the parts and tools to handle any job quickly and efficiently, and those trucks are manned by the most knowledgeable technicians anywhere. They have all the technical expertise imaginable and the most up-to-the-minute training available. In fact, King Door is so committed to training that they have the King Door Academy, a full-size, state-of-the-art classroom right on the premises with all the latest teaching aids, including working garage doors to simulate any installation, repair, or technique. Your garage door is a very important part of the safety, security, and look of your home, so don't trust it to anyone but King Door Company. Call them today at 397-2744, stop by the showroom at 7450 District Boulevard, or check them out online at kingdoor.com. King Door Company, your company with the pride of a lion.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up. I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank.
You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me weekday morning 6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott Cox, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Eight 842-537-6842 KERN. Do you guys follow Nick Ragone on Facebook? You should. I don't know if you were aware of this. He's talked about it twice. He kind of alluded to it on one show, and then on the last show, I actually questioned him about it. He got into specifics about where he's working now. Jefferson Health in Philadelphia. He left Ascension in St. Louis. He left his boss, moved to Philly with Jefferson, and he asked Nick to come with him, and he did. He's a New York boy, Ragone is, and so to be closer to New York is a great thing for him. And his boy is about to graduate from the University of Chicago, and he's got a bunch of pictures where, you know, Nick is phenomenal. He really is. He's not only literally one of the smartest. I've got my Mount Rushmore of smart people that I actually know. It's Romeo Agbalag, Nick Ragone, Harriet Bailey, and who's before? It would take me some time to think about it, but those are my top three, and it'd take me some time to think about my fourth. But if my dad was alive, he'd be on there. But he knew everybody in St. Louis. The one year that I went to his trip in St. Louis, he had the governor, the lieutenant governor. He had a bunch of St. Louis Blues playing. I sat in their suite with Ozzie Smith. He knew everybody. They had a suite at Busch Stadium, and I got to kick it with Ozzie Smith in the suite as we watched the Cardinals. Well, now he's in Philly with the defending Super Bowl champions. So now he's got a bunch of pictures with him and Brandon Graham and Jalen Hurts. And I mean, the guy just moved to the town.
He lives the life.
I mean, he
dream
does.
of.
He does. Have I not said that?
That's true.
He absolutely has life by the tail.
But see, this is the thing. And it's because you brought it up last week that I thought about it so much. I think it's because of how intelligent this man is how he's able to get to
absolutely.
these levels. Because as you've said in the past, guys like Kobe and all these other people who are just on a different cloth than everybody else, they just attract to those areas, and there's no stopping them from getting.
He has a quiet charisma about him.
100%.
He's not a big, tall guy where he walks into the room and you're like, holy Toledo, who's this? But after you have a conversation with him, you're spellbound. You're spellbound because it doesn't matter what the topic is, he's going to correct you. Actually, Ralph, when George Raveling picked up the speech, somebody else picked it up and handed it to him. You know, I mean, he would correct. It doesn't matter what the topic is or what story I tell. He knows a little bit more, and that's what Chris and I were talking about it. Like we were talking about some event that I had attended.
Yeah.
As a kid, I think it was one of the Super Bowls that I went to, and he knew more about. I was there. I was sitting in the Rose Bowl. Ralph Senior to my right, Irving Bailey to my left. And Nick knew more about the Super Bowl than I did. And I got like at least 10 years. I think I got about 10 years on him.
Roughly, I think, yeah.
And I'm like, I was there. And he still. So I was just laughing at these pictures of him just kicking it with the Eagles now.
Yeah, that is pretty wild. I have heard, though, a theory that nobody on the planet, outside of maybe people like Nick Ragone, who clearly have photographic memories, nobody actually fully remembers a memory exactly the way it happened.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. It's supposed to be like something that it's in your memory banks, but like how you pull it out every single time, it changes.
He's
just a little bit.
He is he's a better schmoozer than Kevin McCarthy.
Yeah.
Which is saying a lot. Because I didn't think anybody worked the room better than Kevin McCarthy. But this guy is just a magnet to powerful people. And he started up, he's probably the only human being in the history of golf or this planet who's created 2 separate Champions Tour tournaments. The one he started in St. Louis, it's still going on, the Ascension, and now the one he's starting in Philadelphia, which I'll be going to in 2026 for the Jefferson Health community in Philly. Just a phenomenal human being. And I pray to God he's not listening. Pray to God. But it's exciting for him. I'm really happy for him. He deserves it. And then, of course, this Christmas, they'll probably go to their 3rd home in Thailand. Remember, they have a home in Thailand.
I know, I remember you talking about.
And
interesting choice of location.
Well, his wife's Thai.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. I did not know that.
Her name is Thai, as a matter of fact.
Really?
Yes. I'm not kidding. She's the one that introduced. She's just a beautiful, beautiful woman. And when I say that, I mean in and out.
Right.
She's the one that I was wandering around the room, and she said, "Ralph, sit down and eat with me." And I asked, no, that's what it was. She was eating sushi. I said, "Where'd you get the sushi?" And she said, "Right over there." And come back and sit with me. And I sat with her. And at the next table was Hale Irwin. And I was like, wow, that's Hale Irwin. And she said, "Yeah, he's good friends. You want to meet him?" And I was like, before I could even say yes or no, she was like, "Hale, could you come over for a minute? This is Ralph Bailey." And I was like, "Oh, Mr. Irwin, nice to meet you, sir." And again, you never talk about the obvious with celebrities. Never talk about the obvious with celebrities. You know what Hale Irwin and I talked about? I said, "Mr. Irwin, you're a graduate of the University of Colorado. My 2 best friends went to Boulder. In fact, as I tell my audience, I used to fly from Atlanta to Denver, and I'd hang out with my buddies, and then we would drive from Boulder to LA because my semester would end before theirs. And you were a badass safety for the Boulders, weren't you?" And his face lit up. He said, "How did you know that?" "I played a little football back in my day." And I said, "Back in your day, you were all conference. You were a badass. Why didn't you go pro?" And he said, "Because you don't get hit quite as much when you're trying to make an 8-foot putt." And I was like, I laughed. It wasn't that funny, but I laughed. Never talk about the obvious with celebrities. That's the key. Quick time out. Final hour of the broadcast on this Tuesday. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
This is AM 1180 KERN. Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM. Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Pete Peters in Washington. The United States carried out a military strike
So I might
against a
be off the hook.
Venezuelan vessel. White House correspondent
says,
Greg
there's a
Clugston
magazine.
reports.
President Trump said it was a strike against a drug-carrying boat that departed from Venezuela.
And coming out very heavily from Venezuela. A lot of things are coming out of Venezuela. So, we took it out.
Secretary of State Rubio said the vessel was being operated
guys.
by
Now everybody is on board as we head into the final hour of the broadcast. God, I hate your headset.
That is just our backup. So,
I mean, they're all new and shiny, but they're uncomfortable. They don't fit my big chrome dome either.
Those are more square.
And they sound weird. The sound is different. It's more hollow for some reason. I don't know. I guess I'm just used to my headset that I've been wearing.
It's true. Which will be back
But
tomorrow.
the reason I don't have my headset is because I had to clear my bag for the new Ralph Bailey show set. I tried to warn y'all earlier to go to YouTube because I was going to give you a tour of the Bailey set. I had to bring in a few trinkets. I found out on Friday that Mr. Flores decorates this area with all of his stuff during his show, and then he places it down here below. But he had never done that until Friday. So I noticed that all the knickknacks were gone. I asked Chris, well, where is it? He said, well, JR puts them down there. It's for his show. And I said, well, then who decorates my show? You. And I said, okay, we're going to blacken it up in here a little bit from 3 to 6. So let's go on a tour, shall we? This is Mary Bethune-Cookman, one of the greatest black educators of the 20th century.
Randy thought it was Harriet Tubman.
Harriet Tubman? Did he really?
He did. He asked me, is that Harriet Tubman? I'm like, I'm not sure who that is. I laughed and I said, it looks like Aunt Jemima, but.
Aunt Jemima? You racist. Aunt Jemima. That's Mary Bethune-Cookman, one of the greatest educators of the 20th century.
Where'd you get a statue of
her? Where she is the namesake of Bethune-Cookman College. She was the president of an all-female college that merged with an all-male college, Bethune with Cookman, Mary Bethune-Cookman College. She's one of the great black educators of the early 20th century. And if you're African American and I'll give it to the Latino down the hallway and the white boy behind the mic. But if you're African American and you thought this was Harriet Tubman, turn in your black card right now. Turn it in. This is my Magic Johnson bobblehead. You see why I hate these headsets? Randizzle, get in here. That's Harriet. Harriet Tubman. From the distance. Have you gone crazy? That is Mary Bethune-Cookman, educator. But have you've heard of Bethune-Cookman College? Well, she was one of the founders.
Sorry, my lady.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I gotta bring you one in, man.
What, a Harriet Tubman?
No. Yeah, I got one laying around.
Oh, good Lord.
You can add to the Bailey collection. Feel free.
No, I got a lot of bobbleheads.
That's what I'm saying. You can add to the Bailey collection. This is my Magic Johnson that I got at some ball game. This is the creme de la creme. This is the creme de la creme. Jackie Robinson stealing home base against the Yankees. I'm taking it home after tonight, and I'm replacing it with the statue that I got at another game where I broke off the arms literally hours after I got it. Because I cannot break this. As I mentioned, it is the creme de la creme of my bobblehead or silly knick-knack collection. And even this I've destroyed because you can't see it from that distance, but the bill of his cap is broken off. But this is my pride and joy right here. This is another pride and joy, actually. This I witnessed as a young boy. This is the original 30 home run club. Never in the history of baseball have 4 men hit 30 home runs on the same ball club, except for these 4 Dodgers. That in the front is, God, I should get, let's see if we can do this. Oh, there, that's much better. Okay, so the guy on the knee on my right is Dusty Baker. On the knee to my left, your right, is Ron Say. Standing up in the back to the left, my left, is Reggie Smith. And looking to the left, although he's a conservative, so I should have him looking to the right, is Steve Garvey. And they are the only 4 men in the history of baseball to hit 30 home runs in one season. I love this bobblehead. What else I got back here? And those two glass things, not the honor flight thing in the middle, but this thing, which I'm hiding because it's filthy. And the other one is the 2 of the 3 press club awards I won in consecutive years. And I only had to beat Jazz McKay, which just tore his hide. Just absolutely. There are a couple of great stories out of the press club I'm about to tell you. And I'm going to make fun of Scott Cox in the process, so it's always fun. The first story is McKay. I had won 2 years in a row and didn't think I was going to win the 3rd year. So I didn't go. Yeah, I'm that petty and that small. Yeah, I really am. And because I would be sitting with McKay and he would come back to the table and I just didn't want, I didn't think, there was no way in the world I was going to win 3 years in a row. So I didn't go. And McKay calls me and he says, "Hey, Ralph," literally calls me at my home. And he says, "I won." I said, "Well, that's what I thought. Congratulations, Jazz." And I said, "No, I'm just pulling your leg. You won again." But I'm like, great, appreciate it. Well, that's just part of the story. I come into work on Monday and a local restaurateur who shall remain nameless, Terry Maxwell, is in my boss's office complaining. And apparently Jazz had gone on his show, and because the press club dinner was at Maxwell's, Terry Maxwell's failed restaurant. And you have no idea how failed it was. In fact, he's still, well, anyway, let's not get into that. But McKay had gone on his show and talked about how bad the food was. So Maxwell comes to our office to complain to our general manager. And his thesis was, and actually I don't blame him, we could have put the plate that Jazz ate on back on the shelf. He ate every morsel on his plate. It was clean. We didn't even have to wash it. So if the man returned my dinner, I could understand he didn't like it and he could bag on it. But he ate everything on his plate, Mr. Maxwell insisted, and I'm demanding an apology. And Darnell, our general manager, made McKay apologize. And I'm pretty sure that, hey, superstar, what's happening? Nice uniform. And I'm pretty sure that was the Kern Press Club dinner where McKay and Lois Henry got into it. Would you have loved to have been a fly on the wall for that little tete-a-tete, Lois Henry versus Jazz McKay?
That would have been interesting.
And they both, from what I'm told, and Lois, if you want to refute this, feel free to call in, had a couple pops. Because Lois was known back in those days to have a couple pops. My favorite Lois Henry story, after having a couple of pops at a press club dinner, was when she told Jackie Parks and 2 other anchors that essentially TV people were stupid. You don't do Scott's show anymore, because I was going to say you could bring this up next time Lois is on. But I'm not making this stuff up. She had a couple, I shouldn't tell her business, but I'm not saying she was drunk. She just had a little, couple pops.
Liquid confidence was used.
And told 3 anchors that television people were stupid.
Although I don't think she needs liquid confidence to really say that.
No, not at all. It just adds to the story a little bit. Yeah. And next time I see Lois, she's going to curse me out, but that's beside the point. But those are my 2 famous Lois stories. I would have paid to see her and McKay go at it. I would have paid to see Jackie Parks defend TV broadcasting, because I know Jackie didn't go quietly. Married to Todd Carley, who I was really good friends with while we were doing television. But those are my famous. And that's the Bailey array that you will see during the broadcast. And the reason that they stopped giving the radio, because they don't do that anymore. They stopped after I won it the 3rd time. And I always complained, I always alleged that the reason they stopped doing it is because I won it every time. I don't think that's why they did it. The reason they stopped doing it is because of Scott Ninga. Here's my, stay with me. because I heard Scott say this on the radio, because I used to monitor those guys when I was their opponent,
right,
as professionals are wont to do. And Scott's thesis was, I would never accept a trophy that I had to nominate myself for. And I looked at Steve Darnell and I were sitting in his office listening to them. And I looked at Steve and I was like, is he bright? Or because he sounds intelligent, but that is one of the dumbest things. There's nobody that listens to all of radio that gives out radio awards. All the awards that Channel 17 have accrued, there's no television panel that goes around and watches television news to determine Edward R. Murrow Awards or Emmys. You have to submit things to, in essence, nominate oneself. But Scott and Inga that was below them, beneath them, and they wouldn't do it. So every year it was me and McKay. And since I kicked his behind every single time, they just stopped giving the award out. And I was going to talk to our GM about that. I think we should try to win some awards. Try to find a press club somewhere and submit our stuff and see how it ranks with
couldn't hurt
with markets our size. I think I could win with markets our size.
Yeah,
you know. I to be fair to Scott, I understand what he's saying. This may not be what he's saying, but this is one of the problems that I had with it. And it's one of the reasons that I disagree with the television ratings. The television ratings are done at specific times of the year. Does that really tell you the overall picture of that television news station? Or do they gear up for the May sweeps or the period in which they're being rated? You know what I'm saying? And when you have to submit something, you may have been brilliant on Monday, but were you brilliant on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday? You see what I'm saying? You get to pick the best of your best. And I guess that's an indicator of your talent. But to me, the judge of your talent is how good you are every day. As my dad used to say, they all can't be home runs. And I have horrendous shows sometimes. A couple days ago, I wasn't feeling well and the show was rotten. It happens. I think that's a better judge of how good or bad a radio host you are or TV anchor you are, the overall picture. But when you can take the best of what you do, is that really a fair indication of your typical work? I don't think so. But it is what it is. But yeah, I think we're going to try to branch out and do some award stuff. Let's go ahead and take a break. And when we come back, we'll check the board, see what you guys are talking about. I got to get to my Trump audio. I played a little bit of it during our discussion with Teresa Goldner, but the president says that the federal government, i.e. the National Guard, is going into Illinois. Whether J.B. Pritzker, the Illinois governor, want to be president, or the mayor of Chicago like it or not. Terry Goldner gave us the ruling on the LA case where a judge said what Trump did in Los Angeles was absolutely illegal. So all of this headed to the Supreme Court, including Kathy Miller's case and Tastry's Bakery and the situation with the lesbian couple. Kathy Miller, who catered the desserts at Robbie Pratt's wedding. As a matter of fact, I almost ran over and said hello to her husband. I saw him at the wedding. Back about 8 years ago, almost to the day, a lesbian couple walked into her bakery and wanted a cake. And based on Kathy's religious beliefs, she refused them because she did not want to participate in a gay wedding. Can you do that? I don't think so. I've never agreed with Kathy, but I respect Kathy. I love Kathy. She's a woman who believes what she believes. It's genuine. That's why I've always respected it. But I think you should check your religious beliefs and all other personal beliefs at the door when it comes to business. And that any couple, whether they be gay, heterosexual, transgender, should all be treated the same under the law. That's how we got the 15th Amendment. It wasn't that blacks were equal to whites. You don't think they thought that in the 18th century or 19th century, do you? No, they did not. But Lincoln was able to subscribe to, under the law, the darkies should be treated like us superior white folks. I don't even know if we're there in 2025, but that's another old discussion. Quick time out. We're coming right back. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Tuesday or a Monday, right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN, and we're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Start your day right. First Look with Scott Cox.
Chris,
6
why
to
no
9
live?
a.m.
On the Wednesday edition of the First Look program, we'll
Why
talk
no
a little
live?
medicine with our friend Dr. Vip Dev. John Cox
Right
will be
now?
here from the California.
Petrie, if you want it.
Oh, you're just going to run it?
I was going to.
Okay. Did you run KC's?
I did because it was the first break and you were gone when it actually played.
Okay. Yeah, run Messmaker.
KERN.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Hope you join us every Thursday, particularly at 4:30, when Daniel Petrie from Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors joins us. Daniel gives us a weekly update on the deficit and its growth. We look at silver and gold and obviously the stock market and all kind of economic issues that most importantly impact you. But again, you guys know what Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors are all about. They're all about retirement. I keep telling you guys, it's one of the smartest moves that I've ever made financially. Call Dana at 395-9400, play some Billy 395-9400 if retirement is in your near future. Or just tune in Thursdays at 4:30 when he joins us every week. Daniel Petrie and the folks at Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors.
This broadcast is for informational purposes only. Does not constitute a solicitation or offer to buy or sell any security, future, option, or other financial instrument, or to offer or provide any investment advisory or other services to any person in any jurisdiction by Daniel Petrie or MPWA Inc., DBA Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors. Any views expressed in this broadcast by us are prepared based upon the information available to us at the time, and we are under no obligation to update our views.
Looking for flooring? It's on sale at America Ceramics. Looking for kitchen countertops? It's on sale at America Ceramics. How about shower tile? Yep, that's on sale too at America Ceramics. At America Ceramics, everything you need to transform your space is marked down for the summer. From sleek stone surfaces to bold backsplash tiles, they have it, and it's all on sale. Bring your big ideas to America Ceramics at 4000 Fruitvale Avenue, or visit americaceramics.com to get started. But don't wait. Styles and savings are going fast, and this summer sale won't last forever. America Ceramics at 4000 Fruitvale Avenue, or visit americaceramics.com to get started.
With America Ceramics, doing natural stone.
Please meet Paul Sheldon's client, Rod Geis.
Hello, Kern County. This is Rod Geis. My wife and I recently changed our health care coverage to Medicare. We were so fortunate to have found Paul Sheldon. Paul and his associates Kelly, Lynn, and Christine were indispensable in guiding us through the transition. They have comprehensive knowledge and experience in all aspects of insurance, Medicare, and the option. They listened to our questions every time we walked in the door, and they followed up very promptly with the answers we needed. With Paul's help, we made the best decisions for us. The process was painless, and we now have comprehensive medical coverage at a very affordable price. So if you are considering retirement and a change to Medicare coverage, Paul Sheldon Insurance Benefits and Planning is hands down the best place you can go.
When Medicare matters, our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398-2298.
I'm JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Is this PP? Oh, come on. You can do better than this.
I always play around in circles, so I wanted something a little different.
Then play
I was looking at Outer Space, but I didn't know if there's actually any lyrics to that one.
play You Are So Beautiful. You wrote that. You are so beautiful to me. Can't you see? God, that's bad.
You are everything that I need.
He wrote this.
Yeah.
He did not sing it. He didn't make it the hit that it was. But that sounds like him. That's him, right?
That's him.
This is the goodness of Facebook. For us old folks who are still on Facebook, Jeff Woods posted this. Thank you, Jeff, because I wouldn't have caught this. And I should look at stuff like this. I don't know why I don't every day look for celebrity birthdays, but Billy Preston was born today, 1946. Keyboardist, singer, songwriter, played on many big hits in the 60s with other artists, including the Beatles. I'll tell you a story about that. He co-wrote You Are So Beautiful. He won a Grammy for his solo work and stayed busy until the end. William Everett Preston died June 6, 2006, at the age of 59. Wow, that's young. I was kind of an old soul, despite being incredibly immature on a certain level, but really, really mature on another level. You know, I was 15 years old listening to Frank Sinatra and Ella Fitzgerald. I went to see Frank Sinatra on my 16th birthday, and my parents took me to Vegas with them out of nowhere. I was like 15, 16. I think I was like 16, 17. And they did their own thing, but they did one night take me to dinner, and we went and saw Billy Preston. We were staying at the Sahara, which is why when I was a young adult, it was the only place I would stay because it was the only place in Vegas I ever knew. And they used to have these little small rooms for the entertainers. And it held about 30 or 35 people, and it was just 35 people and Billy Preston and an organ or an accord, some kind of organ, or I don't know, whatever. And he told the story about how he met the Beatles and how he was always called the fifth Beatle and how he was close with Paul McCartney. And it was one of the best nights of my life because, we're right on top of this guy. And he did all the songs that he was hits with and other musical stuff. It was just a great night. It really, really was. How much time we got?
About $1.30.
I almost missed Robbie Pratt's wedding.
Wait, what? Huh?
I literally almost
buried the lead, sir.
Yeah.
How?
I will tell. I don't have enough time. That's why I
Okay.
asked. I'll tell that story right after the break. As we head into the final half hour of the broadcast, we'll talk a little bit about some of the things that I've been meaning to get to. We'll talk about Chanel Jones, one of the reporters on the Today Show, returns after an 8-month hiatus after she lost her husband to brain cancer. He was diagnosed and died 5 months later. It's called glioblastoma. We'll talk about that with Dr. Jeet Singh on Monday. Trying to talk a little sports before we get out of here. Big weekend of sports, and we'll get our donkey of the day, who is Kike Hernandez and Mookie Betts. We have co-donkeys of the weekend. I'll explain when we get to it. And 80 years ago today, God, I hate these. 80 years ago today, the Japanese said, sayonara. We give up. On the USS Missouri with Douglas MacArthur, the signing of the end of World War II. Quick time out. It's TRBS. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has approved sending up to 600 military lawyers to the Justice Department to serve as temporary immigration judges, according to a memo reviewed by the Associated Press. The military will begin sending groups of 150 attorneys, both military and civilian, to the Justice Department as soon as practicable, and the military services should have the first round of people identified by next week. President Trump said Tuesday the U.S. has carried out a strike in the southern Caribbean against a drug-carrying vessel that departed from Venezuela and was operated by the Tren de Aragua gang. The president said in a social media posting that 11 people were killed in the rare U.S. military operation in the Americas. More details at srnnews.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Bill Robbins. A 38-year-old man from Long Beach is accused of sexually assaulting a person, robbing them, and stealing their car in downtown Bakersfield. Police officers were called about the vehicle theft on Friday. Investigators say they learned the victim was forcibly sexually assaulted before being robbed and then carjacked. The suspect, 38-year-old Javier Pizarro Quintero, was booked into the Kern County Jail on multiple charges. At least one person is seriously hurt in a two-vehicle wreck that happened at around 6 o'clock Monday morning on West Side Parkway east of Allen Road. According to CHP, a white Chevy pickup collided with another vehicle. One driver was reported to be unconscious. The cause of the crash is unknown. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey, Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download
can you show me
Upside,
how
the
to,
free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real
you want
cash
it?
back? If you like free
You want
money,
it?
download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank.
Start your day right. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Wednesday edition of the First Look program, we'll talk a little medicine with our friend Dr. Biff Deb. John Cox will be here from California to administer the news quiz. That's always a good time. And we'll back all of that up with state-of-the-art news, traffic, and weather. It's all happening at 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180.
For a 63-year-old man.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. News
You wanna
Talk
see me naked?
96.1 and AM 1180.
My man boobs?
KERN. The Charlie Kirk Show, weekdays at 6 p.m. on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
And same thing
Now,
with Facebook.
back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
Oh yeah, it does. So it's just share to Facebook. Okay, yeah. Thanks. No. One of the things I'm going to do tonight, if you guys follow me on Instagram or Facebook, is to post a bunch of pictures. I just learned from Randizzle, who I just made throw up in his trash can. I'm going to post a bunch of pictures from Robbie's wedding. I have to get my straight man's attention. I said I just got through almost making Randizzle throw up in his trash can.
Why is that now? How'd you do that?
Well, it's funny you should ask, Chris. Worst straight man in the business, I swear to God.
This is the one I missed today.
Every now and again, I don't mean to be creepy, but every now and again, I take a full-length naked picture of myself just to see the change of my body.
Okay.
Shut up.
Okay.
And I was asking Randy how to post pictures, and since I just took the new one this morning, because I've lost weight, I'm down to 195 now.
That's good for you.
Which has got me a little scared, given my PSA number. And the fact that I just finished the antibiotics, my PSA went from 1.2 to 3.7. 4 and higher is like, ooh. So I'm right on. But as we heard from our prostate cancer expert who we've had on the show, he called in and said, you could be at 3.7 and have cancer right now. And when I saw that I lost another 3 pounds, I was like, oh, Lord. And I'm just not eating the way I used to. Like, I haven't eaten today. I have not eaten today. And so that's why I took the naked picture, just to see. And there's a big difference. You want to see it?
No.
Yeah, Randy was like freaked out a little bit myself. But I will post some pictures of the wedding. I got some great pictures, by the way, because I was like in almost the third row. So I got pictures of Robbie and April coming up the thing. But I almost missed the wedding.
How so?
Because I'm Ralph Bailey, the greatest procrastinator in the history of procrastinating. I waited until Saturday to put my tuxedo in at Today Cleaners. The only thing I had to wear, the only thing that I felt appropriate to wear, because I guess I could have worn a flannel shirt that I didn't have tucked in and some jeans and some boots and a ball cap, because there was a guy in a flannel shirt that wasn't tucked in with some dirty jeans and some dirty work boots and a ball cap at the wedding that clearly said formal on the invitation. But I think Mike later told me that Robbie kind of told his fellas, I don't care what you wear. Just show up. But every woman in the building looked like $1 million. Women get it. And yes, it's fashion, so obviously they get it. But come on, man. All I ask at a wedding is a collared shirt and some slacks. That's all I ask. A white shirt. I did not wear this shirt. You want to see why I didn't wear this shirt?
Sure. Oh, wow.
See that? But do you think I'm going to throw this shirt away? It's a perfect YouTube shirt. As long as I keep my arm down. See, y'all are like, oh my God, Ralph's got a hole in his shirt. You never knew that until I lifted my arm. So I can't like wear this out and about, but I can wear it on YouTube as long as I keep the chicken wing in. But I'm willing to do this. So I did not wear this. But you could go like this. A simple collared shirt and some slacks. That's all I ask. So I wait until the last minute. Now, Today Cleaners has a policy. Put it in early, it gets out early. What is their policy? Can you sing the song, Chris?
I think I can, actually.
In by 11, ready at 4, right?
I didn't know that was the actual song. I just thought that was their saying.
Well, but yeah, they put it in the commercial, and that's their song.
That's my point, though. I haven't seen an actual commercial for.
But you knew it was 11 to 4, right?
Yes, 100%, yeah.
100%. No.
No.
I get there at 10:30, and I have my black shirt, my black pants, my black tie. I'm going Johnny Cash, and my black tuxedo jacket. And I threw in some other stuff that you'll see later in the week that I'll be wearing, because I go collared shirts till the fall. I go bummy T-shirts, polos during the summer. Now we're officially in fall. Football has started. School has started. You're going to see me in nothing but collared shirts and slacks for the rest of the fall. And then holidays, I get even sweaters. And anyway, and I'm there at 10:30, and I hand my guy the stuff, and he says, this will be ready Tuesday. We're closed Monday. And I go, no. It's 10:30. I need this by 4 o'clock. He said, I'm sorry, sir. We changed that in January.
Wait, what?
It's now 10. Ready in by 10. Ready at 4. I just about defecated on myself. Because now I'm going, I've either got to go like the guy who I've been making fun of all during the show with a pair of jeans or some Dockers, or I wasn't going to go. I was not going to go inappropriately dressed.
Fair.
I got on my hands and knees because I had like 8, 9, 10 items. And I said, can I speak to the manager? And the little woman came out, and I said, I am begging you, ma'am. I'm going to a wedding in about 8 hours. Could you just do the jacket, the black shirt and the black pants, and I would be forever in your debt. And she kind of sighed and said, all right. And I said, thank you so much. But if I couldn't have gotten my tuxedo cleaned, I don't think I would have gone. Now, had I known,
It's on the side of the wall, isn't it? I was just about to bring that up. Don't they
Right.
have that little like sign right there? It says in at 11, out at 4.
that's what I thought. I looked, and they've already changed it to 10.
Oh no way! I didn't notice that.
He said they changed it in January. And I was like, I drive by there or walk by there. I walk by there home coming from Goobies once a month when I get my hair cut, as I did just the other day. I walked by there just the other day and didn't even notice it. Friday, I got my hair cut, and I walk right by there. I walk to Goobies, and then I take an Uber home because I go to Eureka's and get a little.
Right.
I got spaghetti and meatballs because I can't have the fettuccine Alfredo anymore. By the way, if anybody cares, I'm still not ready to play golf. Can you believe that? I'm still not ready. I'm walking. I've got hard shoes on and it hurts, so I'm walking I'm tiptoeing, but I still can't swing a golf club. It is so frustrating. It is literally getting me into like a PTSD depression, sitting around my damn apartment. Now, this weekend was cool because it was not cool. And I could have played Sunday morning, but I'm going to hobble out there next Sunday morning. I've got to swing a golf club. And if I just have to kind of gimp it and I shoot 102, that's what it's going to be. But I have to play golf. I'm not getting any exercise. And I was just telling Chris, my heartbeat has been weird lately. And I think that's because for the last 3 months, I've gotten absolutely no exercise. I'm not walking. I'm not, when I play golf, I can get in as many as 12,000 steps. And I'm averaging now like 100, 150 steps a day. I might as well be 260 pounds. And I was telling Chris, I had to scrub my refrigerator this weekend. I cleaned up the kitchen this weekend, and I took the panels out, and I did some I got down, Jack, and was doing this for like 4 or 5 minutes, and I stopped, and my heart was racing, like I just run a 100-yard dash. And I was like, what the hell was that? And I just said, well, I just don't have any wind. But it happened today when the show started. I ran in here and I was sweating and my heart was beating. You may have seen me during Teresa's talk. I was so rude. I was so hot, literally in the midst of Teresa Goldner speaking. I had to reach down here and turn the fan on. I was dying. And all while that was going on, my heart was beating like this. So I might have to go see Dr. J. I really might. We're going to have him on next Monday. But I'm going to ask him, should I be, is it time for a little heart checkup for the kid? And I just told Dr. Cothery that I'm out. I just finished the antibiotics that he gave me for my prostate. And now I've got to go see him that I finished the antibiotics and find out whether it's a infection, which the antibiotics would have taken care of, or do I need a biopsy and to find out whether or not I have prostate cancer. The good news is if I do, we've caught it early and they can, let's pray, cut out that portion of my prostate and I can live a happy life. I have a friend who will remain nameless who had the very same thing. He had a simple blood test and his doctor checked his PSA and it jumped and he was in surgery like I think 3 weeks later. And now he's playing golf and he kicks my ass every time we play. And no, it's not Chris Zucchini. That's another friend of mine who, again, will remain nameless. I'm not telling people's medical history, but he's as healthy as a horse. That had to be a big scare because I don't even know if I have it or not, and I'm scared to death. I'm not going to lie. 842-5376, 842-KERN. Since we haven't done it all day, let's check the board.
How long do Donald Trump think it's going to be safe once they leave, how long can you stay there? You can't stay forever. You need to change your tactics.
Here's the thing. Nothing's worked, right? Chicago's been a hellhole for decades. 8 people killed over the weekend, 7 the weekend before that. And this is why this is a brilliant play by Donald Trump, because now you've got Pritzker, who wants to be president in 28, and these other liberals fighting the guy who wants to fight crime. I think if you truly took a poll of every Chicagoan, in other words, if the pollsters really went into the deep, darkest, no pun intended, no reference intended, the darkest, I mean dark like ghetto, not necessarily national race, the deepest, darkest ghettos of Chicago, and ask the law-abiding citizens in those ghettos if they feel safe, what do you think the poll would be? What do you think it would look like? They're asking Chicagoans who are working on Michigan Avenue, you know what I'm saying? They're working in the Sears Tower. Those are the people they're talking to. Those are the people they're polling. They're not going into Cabrini Green. They're not going into the ghettos of Chicago and asking these people whether the gangs have scared them to death, whether they know a teenage boy who's been shot. Are you kidding? And so if the Democrats want to be on the side of fighting the guy who's fighting crime, go right ahead. You knock yourself out, Gavin. JB, you go ahead and fight this man. And ultimately, whether he can do this or not is going to end up in the Supreme Court. You heard Teresa Goldner talk about the judge's decision in Los Angeles, calling it illegal what he did, but keeping the 300 forces in LA there. And now today, Trump said, well, we're going in. Here is more from the president's impromptu news conference today.
If the governor of Illinois would call me up, I would love to do it. Now, we're going to do it anyway. We have the right to do it because I have an obligation to protect this country. And that includes Baltimore. I saw where Governor Moore was asking me to take a walk down the street of Baltimore. Well, Baltimore is a very unsafe place. It's rated number 4 in the city, one of the most unsafe places anywhere in the world. But, you know, we took care. This was a beautiful thing that happened in Washington because we showed that it could be done.
We showed that it could be done. And he wants J.B. Pritzker to call him. Pritzker, and we didn't get any of this audio. I didn't want to hear J.B. Pritzker, and I didn't think you wanted to hear him either. But Pritzker had a very impromptu press conference that followed with the Chicago mayor with him and said, I'm not calling Trump. Okay. 8 dead, and everything's good in Chicago over a weekend. Not a week, not 7 days, 72 hours. 8 dead, 57 wounded, 37 shooting incidents in 3 days. Everything's good. We don't need any help. You stick with that, JB. You stick with that, Gavin, who, by the way, as Mike Turnipseed informed us last week, has already been sending in the California Highway Patrol to buttress communities like, Bakersfield. You know what Mayor Go could do to make national news? You know what Ralph Bailey would do if he was the symbolic mayor of Bakersfield? Can you figure it out, Chris Burdick?
As a symbolic mayor of Bakersfield, you would.
Do you know what we're talking about? You weren't paying attention. We're talking about crime and crime fighting and the National Guard and Donald Trump. Now, what would Ralph Bailey do as the symbolic mayor of Bakersfield?
Welcome Trump in.
Damn right. I would hold a huge press conference. I would tell the California to be there, 17, 29, or maybe not 29, 23. I'd call CNN in Los Angeles. I would have a press conference and I would say, well, if the mayor of Chicago doesn't want him and J.B. Pritzker doesn't want him, I'm the mayor of Bakersfield. My name's Ralph Bailey. I'll take him. Bring the National Guard to Bakersfield. We'll put them on Cottonwood. We'll put them in the Northeast. We'll put them downtown. We'll put them at some of our monuments. I'll take them. We're not in chaos. We're not in mayhem, but we got problems. I put them in the Valley Mall, the Valley Plaza. I put them at Edwards. I'm Ralph Bailey. I welcome the National Guard, and I believe my community would welcome the National Guard because we got a little murder problem here. We average about 100 a year, which is insane. I would absolutely make national news with that and absolutely tell Mr. Trump, please, sir, come visit our community. I would love to have your people on our streets. Let's go ahead and take our final break of the day. Tomorrow's a Wednesday. God, can you believe that? I love short weeks. It's hump day already. Our former federal agent, Howard Marcus, will join us. I'll get to some of the stories that I did not get to today, including the tragic story of Chanel Jones and her husband. We'll talk some sports because I didn't get to any of the U.S. Open stuff. But I do know that Novak Djokovic is going on with Taylor Fritz, the American, right now. Jessica Pegula won earlier this morning. And Naomi and I don't know how to pronounce her last name. The American that got into the finals of Wimbledon, Anisimova.
Yeah, Anisimova.
I think I bumbled into it. Anisimova.
I believe that's correct.
She's got a shot at some payback. She goes up against Iga, and I blow this name too.
Swiatek, I believe, correct?
That's not how it's pronounced.
It's not pronounced.
No, that's what I always say, Swiatek, because that's how it's. If you read it, that's how it looks. But it's not how you pronounce. It's like Swiatek or something like that.
Oh.
Y'all know who we're talking about. The girl that won Wimbledon and beat Anisimova. Well, they're going at it tomorrow night. A little payback for the American. Although she ain't gonna. She's not.
We are still hopeful.
Yeah.
And bad news, Venus went down.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Venus went down right now.
Her and Layla Fernandez?
Yep. Her run in doubles is no more.
Hey, it was good.
Although
45 years old.
So I was just about to bring up, and I'm still on the track of you need to convince sister to come back and be your doubles partner.
Well, you know what? It's funny you should say that. And you know how they let the winners speak to the crowd? I saw a clip where she said, Serena, you need to come out. And I thought she was challenging her because they won a bunch of championships together.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not what she was talking about.
No, she wants her to come and actually see
and
it.
watch her play. Yeah. That's what she was talking about. But I thought she was challenging her sister to, hey, if the older sister can do it at 45, Serena's just lost a bunch of weight through Wegovy or
oh yeah, she's a new face of
Wegovy
Roko
or some one of those drugs. I don't know which one it is. I can't remember, but yeah. And she looks horrible. My whole attraction to Serena was that she was thicker than a Snicker. Now she looks like a little skinny little white girl. Come on, sister. Thicker than a Snicker. Final timeout. Not a lot of time we come back either. It's TRBS. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your
Where
first
am I
tank.
to keep my
That's code
stuff?
PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank.
Did you know nearly half of young adults aged 18 to 25, about 16 million people,
experience substance use or mental health conditions? If you or a loved
Leave them right there for right now. I'll try to find you a box
No, this
after
is
the
good.
show, and we'll
I can
we'll
leave mine
box
on
it all
this
up.
thing.
dimensions of your life influence your recovery journey. Substance use and mental health conditions are
Man,
like
this is
any other
going home.
condition that requires treatment and
I'm
support.
not messing
Connecting
with
with others in recovery helps build a circle of people around you who are likely
I'll bring
navigating
in
the
my other
same things you
Jackie.
are and will support
The one
your
with no
unique
arms.
journey. Finding community support is a powerful, proven way to help. You don't have to go through it alone. Recovery is possible for everyone,
I love
regardless
this.
of where
I
you are on your
absolutely love
journey.
this. Can you all
SAMHSA's
see this?
free resources will help
It's
you
really
explore
cool.
effective treatment options and
Sits on my
connect you
TV
with
stand in my
providers near
living
you.
room.
Learn the steps you can take by
Isn't that
visiting
cool?
samhsa.gov/recover
the
me.
hat
That's
is broken off? That's why it's going
samhsa.gov/recover
The
me.
following is a
Because
paid
that arm won't
advertisement
go
by
if it
Family
stays there.
Vacation Getaways with the purpose of soliciting
That
sales
arm
of
will break
vacation
off. I
ownership.
know it
For
will.
complete details, please visit
I'll be showing you guys and I'll
fvgradio.com.
drop it.
If you want a
Look at that, it says
100%
42 on
complimentary
the back.
stay at a luxury
Isn't that
resort in
cool?
Cancun, airfare not included,
I
then Family
love
Vacation
this
Getaways
piece.
is your ticket to
And you know what?
paradise. See
I
website for
swear I
complete
don't know
details.
where I
We're
got
giving
it.
away 5 days and 4 nights to the first
This
50
isn't the kind
callers
of
who
thing
can
you get
name an
away with
animal that
today.
lays eggs and is not a bird.
I think
An
somebody,
animal
a
that
listener,
lays
gave
eggs and
this
is
to
not
me.
a bird. Do you know it? Call now. 800-417-6411. That's 800-417-6411.
You know,
You're
here
also
might
eligible
be
for
the
an
safest
exciting
place
bonus
for it.
vacation to Orlando, Florida for just $498. And don't worry about anything ruining your
How much
plans.
time I
We
can
can
have?
extend your travel up to 18 months.
2 minutes?
Name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird, and you get a complimentary Cancun resort stay and an optional bonus vacation to
Speaking of the devil,
Orlando
I
for
gotta
just
go to Today Cleaners, pick up the rest
$498.
of my
What are
freaking
you waiting
clothes.
for? Call 1-800-417-6411. 800-417-6411. And give us your answer. The proceeding is not a contest and is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways. It is not sponsored by this program or its affiliates.
The Armstrong and Getty Show, weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to
Honored by the Bakersfield Police Activities Leagues, and I get to say a few words about him along with Jim Scott and his 3 children. I can't wait. And I think you can still contact PAL, the Police Activities Leagues, and get a ticket if you'd like to be there. It's going to be in the warehouse at Luigi's, which means it's Gino's celebrated Chateaubriand and the Sacco beans and the salad. Oh, it's just great. And it's going to be a great event. Jeff is, as you all mostly know, most of you know Jeff, it's well-deserved. What he has done for Honor Flight, for this community is just amazing. And I'm honored to be able to speak up for my friend. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Our former federal agent, Howard Marcus will join us. We'll get to some of the things that we didn't get to today. And we'll be following Trump's fight to get into the great state of Illinois and post National Guardsmen in the city of Chicago. This is going to be an interesting fight. J.B. Pritzker versus Donald Trump. I'm going home. Thanks for being with us. For Chris Burdick, I'm Ralph Bailey. That's what's really going on. Wrap to you tomorrow.
This is AM 11.
All right, whenever you're ready.
What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? You can act like a man. What's the matter with you? Hollywood Pinocchio? What is that nonsense? You spend time with your family? Yes, Godfather. Good. Because the man that doesn't spend time with his family can never be a real man. I want you to eat. You look terrible. And this Hollywood Pinocchio will give you what you want. No chance, Godfather. No chance. I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. That was a great performance. Give you a little extra. Look at that. 6 o'clock. I should be out of here by now. What should I do? Robbie's wedding?
That's always a good one.
tell the laundry story. Can I tell that in 20 seconds? 3, 2. So I literally almost missed Robbie's wedding. Nobody told me that it's no longer in by 11, ready at 4 at Today Cleaners. So when I showed up at 10:30, they're like, we can't do your tux, pal. I had to beg the manager, I have a way to go to in 8 hours. You've got to dry clean my tux. And thank you, Jesus, she did. Anything other than
At the moment, no.
nothing going on tomorrow? I'll preview Jeff's honored thing. 3, 2, it's that man again. Look what's coming up on the Wednesday TRBS. Well, it's a Wednesday. Our former federal agent Howard Marcus will be here, and we'll preview the Bakersfield Police Activity League's Hometown Hero Award. 3, 2, it's that man again. Look what's coming up on the Wednesday TRBS. Well, it's a Wednesday. Our former federal agent Howard Marcus will be here, and we'll preview the Bakersfield Police Activity League's annual Hometown Hero, our good friend Jeff Salters. All that, me at 3. It's TRBS. News Talk 96.1 at AM 1180 KERN. I'll see you at 3.
Hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-458-9469. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your
So
tax
it's
problem
like
and save you thousands of
$8 for me
dollars.
to go home?
see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-458-9469. 800-458-9469.
Yeah, it's like $8 to $10 for me to go home.
800-458-9469.
If I
From
throw
the
in Today Cleaners
KERN newsroom,
and then
your
go home,
live and local
I'll say
news
Jeff
update on News Talk
21
96.1 and AM 1180.
just to go right around the corner from my
KERN.
house.
I'm Bill Robbins. A
I
former
live on
state
E.
prison in California City has
Shut
officially
up.
reopened as
Share
an ICE
that.
detention center and is
And
housing
Today Cleaners is on
detainees.
what, 8?
This in spite of months of
And it goes from
protests.
like
Ryan
$9
Gustin, a senior director
21
with
bucks
Core
with that
Civic,
little
the
stop.
company that owns the prison,
And you know,
says
I've had
that they're
drivers
responding
tell
to an
me,
immediate need
you
from
should
the
try to
federal
just
government
be
for
like,
safe,
hey, can we
humane,
just stop
and
off?
appropriate housing
But
and care for
you're gonna
these
get a dick
individuals.
every now
The
and again.
facility
He's
will
gonna
be
be like,
subject
no.
to independent
Yeah.
audit and regular visits by officials, immigration attorneys, and volunteers, as well as friends
Ask
and
for a
families of
stop.
the detainees. Governor Gavin Newsom has activated a task force to clear homeless camps off of state properties, especially those located along freeways and underneath overpasses. It will focus on California's largest cities, including Los Angeles, San Francisco, Anaheim, Fresno, and Bakersfield, and homeless people will be connected with resources. At least one person has died after a head-on crash between two pickup trucks over the weekend. It happened on Taft Highway, according to the California Highway Patrol. At around 3:30 Sunday afternoon, a black pickup heading west veered into oncoming traffic, colliding with another vehicle. The impact caused one of them to roll over and come to rest on the roadway. One victim was declared deceased. Trespassing is creating a problem for residents of Harmony Court Senior Apartments. Residents say it's causing safety concerns for people who